I just wish it was like 9/11. 9/11 in comparison to this was so nice. It was so, first of all, it was the fall. It was the fall, and the holidays were coming. And yes, you felt unsafe. And yes, your friend's dad died. And yes, you went to a lot of candlelit vigils, but you could be together. You could hug each other, kiss people on the cheek. You could sit in a bar. The booze was flowing and the food, and you could go out and be together. There was humanity. There were displays of compassion all around. I just wish it was like 9/11 in the fall, eating pumpkin muffins, talking about all the bombs we were going to drop on the evildoers. It was such a nice time. It was so simple. There were evil people who had done an act of unspeakable cruelty. And there were good boys and girls in Long Island, New York, who were going to go to school and try to figure this world out because we were young and we had promise. When this shit happens when you're 35 and you realize you're fucked. You were almost fucked before the pandemic. It's not fun. A crisis is not fun in your mid-30s. It's okay when you're 17 because you have so much to learn. It's okay. You're 17, you're like, I'm becoming a person. This is a formative period in my life. I mean, it's like, at this point, I'm oscillating between friends who think the virus is fake and friends who desperately want to get the virus because they want Instagram followers. They want attention. I got two types of people calling me. People telling me the virus doesn't exist and I'm falling for propaganda, and people that think they have the virus and want to just tell people they have the virus because they need fucking attention. They're praying for corona. These are the two groups of people I have in my life in their mid-30s, just waiting for the guillotine to drop. I just wish it was like 9/11. It was so nice and simple, and I was so young. I didn't understand anything about the world. And I started reading Thomas Friedman, who wrote for the New York Times, and he doesn't understand anything about the world, but I thought he did because I was 17. And he would write stupid things like the world has gone from interconnected to hyperconnected. And I would go, fuck, I'm smart. I get it. And then you grow the fuck up and you realize that nobody has any clue what's going on. And life is truly a waste of time. The articles are a waste of time. The tweet threads are a waste of time. It is truly all just something to do. There's no way to contextualize anything. Nothing makes fucking sense. Throw open the doors to the church if that's where you find yourself, and I don't blame you. Whatever you got to do. If you find yourself in an anarchist vegan compound in fucking Portland because you're a communist witch and that's the only way you can stay sane, God love you. No judgment from me. I've given up right and wrong, Republican, Democrat, left and right. It's all disgusting. We're all just germs waiting to go bye-bye. Statistics are stupid. People are genuinely insane. And I don't mean fun insane. I mean, no, genuinely rubber room, danger to themselves and others insane. And you share a country with them. And they have a vote and you have a vote. And I don't know how that works. I don't understand how that all works long term. And the people with the money and the power have taken the last train out and they've shut the lights off and they've grabbed everything they can and they took the last flight out and left you standing on the tarmac. And what did you think they wouldn't? You thought you were getting any of that $2 trillion? Good luck, baby. You're getting 600 or 1,200 depending on what fake tax bracket you're in. And it's all fine. We're in the end of winter, the worst time, the beginning of spring. March is the worst month, and it always has been the worst month because you understand how bad February is going to be. It's going to be cold. It'll suck. It feels like forever. And then you get to March, and you have all this false hope, and then March is just a rainy, allergy-filled hellscape. Where if everybody didn't have corona, they think they have corona because everybody wakes up with a sniffle or a cough or postnasal drip because it is fucking March, the worst month in the world. You're just sick. You're sick of it. And you need the sun and the heat and the summer. You know, you need that time when you could just, you know, take a little breath. Take a little breath. Step away. Go to your beach club. Go to someone else's beach club. Go find a friend with a boat. Go trade up. Go find a friend with a little more going on than you have so you can enjoy the summer. You can't enjoy the summer unless you make friends with a little bit of money. Let's get real. The summer's not for the poor. It ain't. Never has been. I know you saw some movie about somebody swimming in a creek. That ain't real anymore. That's not real. The creek is sewage now. So if you don't have a friend with a beach house, you're fucked. You're in a public pool where people are shitting and they're bleeding from their AIDS legions. Not me, buddy. Oh, I'm going to make a friend with a big boat. Nice big pool and a plump cheeseburger I'll put in my fat face. And I'll sing and dance for it. I'll sing and dance, and I'll make all the funny coronavirus. I'll make all the anecdotes they want. I'll make all the anecdotes they want. As long as I can visit their pool or their beach. Because that's really what the summer is. You got to trade up in the summer. Get the losers away in the summer. I don't care how you made your money. I don't care if you sold masks to nurses outside of the ER. I want that pool. I don't care. I don't care how much blood money it took to get this house in the Hamptons. I'm not going to a public pool or, God forbid, a beach club, the refuge of the middle class. No cops and firefighters for me this summer. Get out of here. No Italians and Irish, Jews and wasps. I don't give a fuck about this pan-fucking-demic. If I'm alive, I'm going to get a rich fucking friend for the summer. You better take a look at your social circle and think of all of you fuckers, who's going to be left and who's going to have a little coin. I've been trying to donate to coronavirus, and it is very difficult, and I'll tell you why. They don't need money as much as they need supplies. They need masks. They need ventilators. I cannot make a ventilator in my West Hollywood apartment. I lack the skill. I lack the material. I don't know what it is. Could I make masks? I don't know, but I don't think I can. And the masks that I make would just be insulting. It would be stupid. So, anticipating that this is a larger economic problem, of course, it impacts lots of people. I guess somebody told me today, they said you could just donate to a food bank. And all right, but guys. How sexy is donating to a food bank? Let's get real. Does anybody want to donate anonymously to a food bank? I want to donate to something where I can show the world that I'm doing it so I can inspire them. I want a photo of me outside Cedars-Sinai. I want 2 doctors and a nurse crouched on the floor holding their stethoscopes, and I want to be behind them with my hand on each of their backs. And I want that photo. I don't need to go anonymously donate to a food bank. I want something big, something glossy, a little sexy. A little sexy. I know they're going through it, doctors and nurses. I know that. I know that. And it's fucking sucks out there, and I want to help them. But I also want to be photographed doing it. And if that makes me a bad person, fine. If you don't want to listen to the show anymore, then fine. I want to be photographed helping. I'm not saying I need a documentary about me helping. That wouldn't be horrible either. But I want to still photograph, or a few of them, of me helping in whatever capacity I help. That's all. So if there's a way for me to help that is a little sexy, please let me know. A little bit of a photo op. I appreciate all the first responders and nurses and doctors taking time away from patients to send me messages on Instagram so I know what's going on for my show. I appreciate that. Don't stop. Keep sending those messages. Just keep sending them. Doesn't matter what the hell's going on in there. Keep me abreast of all the local developments on the ground, please. It's another pandemic. All my relatives are going to somehow survive. Great. 9/11, the financial crisis. Yeah. Every kind of cancer. They're unbeatable, these people. The boomers you can't get them. Can't get them. They're gonna walk around like Lazarus, raised from the dead, complaining about the temperature of shrimp. What's wrong? Did you leave it out for too long? I'm telling you, you're not gonna beat the boomer. People think this virus the boomer remover. Think not. It'll get some people, and that's fucking tragic. But the boomers are going to be back, and they're going to be back with a vengeance. This is their Holocaust. They are good. There will be. You think the boomers were bad before? They are going to talk about COVID-19 the way people talk about Kristallnacht. I'm telling you, they're not going to let it go. You think they were annoying before? These motherfuckers are going to go hard. They're going to go hard. They'll tell a nurse right to her face that she doesn't know shit. They'll be like, well, you don't even, well, where were you? I was a nurse on the front line. The front lines are what? You're young. I was old in my house, having to be racist in my home, and not at the local restaurant. They're not going anywhere, folks. The boomies are not going anywhere. I'm reading a lot of things where they're saying that the 2.2 million expected death total, is a little high. They might be revising that down, but they also think, obviously day to day, it's a fucking nightmare. And I have a lot of fucking people that listen to the show that are out there in the trenches, and I fucking respect you guys, and I appreciate it, and I wish I could help you, but I can't legally, can't leave the house. So I will send a tweet. I will do a story on Instagram, and I will even maybe do a TikTok dance. But I can't leave the home. But I will donate money, or I will do something. I want to order you guys food. I want to do something for you. I'm providing you a lot of entertainment. Let's be honest. Let's get real here. There's not a lot of shows doing it like we're doing it right now that are actually funny. There's a lot of garbage. There's a lot of collaborate, people on Zoom and everything, and you can't hear anything. First of all, enough with the guests. Enough with the guests. If you need stop, broadcast. Give us your opinion. You don't need the same 30 comedians interviewing each other over and over again until the planet explodes. Have a thought and articulate it. You're asking people to pay you money. How about that? How'd you get into comedy? Shut up. End times, you goon. Enough with the guests. No, I don't want to collaborate. I don't want to collaborate with you in a pandemic. I'm going to collaborate in a pandemic? No. Everybody retreat to your corners. Do your own thing. You're going to have a lot of pandemic friendships. People are going to call you that you never speak to, and you're going to be like, am I friends with this person? And you might be, but it's a pandemic friendship. There's going to be pandemic relationships. You're going to start fucking somebody that's near you because it's a pandemic. I tend to believe that relationships aren't the most valuable when they only make themselves known during a period of absolute and utter desperation and crisis. You know what I mean? I tend to think in order to find out who your real friends are, free association's needed. The ability to leave your home. Those small benefits of being able to walk down the street and meet other people and stand closer than 6 feet away from them. So just be a little careful. Be a little careful with the pandemic collaborations. The disease friendships you're making. We get it. Don't be upset when they lift the travel restrictions and that person travels the fuck out of your life. That's all. Don't be afraid to look at things with, your head right now as well as your heart. What are the totals? We do this every episode. We do this not to be crass and not to, but to just figure out where we are. This is Thursday. This episode's going out Saturday night, early Sunday morning. I guess everything could change in a day or two, but this is the most recent totals we have of sick cases. We do the world, and then we do the United States of America. And I am fucking bummed that New Orleans is having a time of it down there, because other than New York, it is my favorite city, and I love it.
We have a total of 532,224 cases in the world, and a total of...
Wait a minute, what?
532,224.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And then deaths, we have 24,087. For the U.S., right now, we are at 85,594 cases. Total deaths, 1,300.
Okay. Because you hear the numbers. Here's the thing with this. You hear the numbers and you go, everything's about what could happen and what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the numbers and you're like, why do we have a morgue if there's only been a certain amount of deaths? Like, why do we have a frozen morgue ready to go? Why are we converting... why can't we handle, because more people die than this. Mm-hmm. We're talking about 1,300, but I think it's the expectation that this thing gets so brutal and so ugly and so many people end up dying that, like Italy, you're not going to be able to have funerals.
Right.
And it is fucking deeply tragic that shit could be happening, because I get it, guys. I'm getting frustrated with the social distancing. I'm getting very frustrated. I want to fucking leave my apartment. I mean, I do. I walk around and stuff. But, I've had enough. Dude, I've spent the last decade doing stand-up comedy, and I spent the last decade traveling all over the place, to a point where the majority of my day when I wasn't traveling was just complaining about traveling, as to how horrible it is to travel, okay? My life, coughs and colds and shoving Dayquil down my throat and Advil cold and sinus and sniffles and, the plane and everything, the germs. And that was my entire fucking existence. And now I'm locked down. I'm only able to podcast. And then you fall into the internet. You fall into the black hole, the abyss. I liked performing. I liked people after shows coming up to me, shaking my hand, going, hey, that was great, or hey, I'm a big fan. You see the human face of people. You lose that when you're inside and you're online. You lose that. You lose that there's fucking real people out there that connect with what you're doing. I appreciate all the messages and shit you guys send online, but it's so, I'm so envious of the nurses and the doctors that get to leave their house every day. They're so lucky. I hope they realize how lucky they are. I hope they truly appreciate how lucky they are, the nurses and the doctors and the first responders that get to just gallivant wherever the fuck they want. I just hope they realize what a unique position they're in. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And listen, let's talk about the economy for a minute. I don't want to sound heartless. But let me ask you a question. Is it inappropriate to ask that somebody on a ventilator work? Is it inappropriate for me to suggest there are jobs you can do while you're on a ventilator? Is it wrong? I'm dead serious. Why not? If you're intubated and you have tubes and a machine is breathing for you and you're in a medically induced coma, is there nothing you can do? I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I know the economy is paramount in everyone's concern. Mm-hmm. Domino striked. Of course, I'm kidding for you idiots out there that are probably like, yeah, he's right. He's right about that. He's all right about it. Hey, what? They should be working. Yeah. When are they going to open up Chick-fil-A? Yeah. after all this is done and after the nurses wore the garbage bags and after everybody dies, there's people going to be like singing that Lee Greenwood song. It's going to be so fun. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Yeah. Great. But that's the thing, the economy. Trump says we're going to have the churches full by Easter. They'll call it, if that happens, they'll call it the Easter Massacre. Just start killing everybody on Easter. You know? Doctors say that this thing is fucking unpredictable in every imaginable way. You don't know how it really affects you. You can be healthy and drop dead. You can be unhealthy and it could be okay. You could be old, you could be young. It doesn't, they don't know anything about it. They don't truly have a real understanding of this. It's all pretty much based on averages and numbers, and China's full of shit. I mean, so Rogan sent me an article the other night, which I don't know if it's making the rounds. Ben's going to pull it up, where it says China's missing 21 million cell phone users. They just went offline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was in Bloomberg.
If you know anything about China, you know that their cell phones are a way to track the population. So, cell phone is pretty important in that country, especially that government. They want you to have a phone. They want you to have a phone so they could find out what the fuck you're up to.
So China mobile subscriptions fell by more than 8 million over January and February, data on the company's website show. China Unicom, Hong Kong, subscribers fell by 7.8 million in this period, while China Telecom Corp has lost 5.6 million users last month.
Well, are we saying, does this mean that the death totals are much higher and that they're running 24-hour crematoriums and they are just burning bodies? I don't know. I'm asking a question. I'm saying, does this mean that the death total is so much higher? So much higher. Now they're like, Spain has more deaths than China. It's like, wait, what?
Really?
That's what they're saying. Look it up. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Or maybe not more deaths, but more cases. What are they saying?
So on the Worldometer, we have 81,000 in China and 57,000 in Spain.
Deaths, though.
Oh, but deaths, yeah, by like 2,000 more. Yeah, 1,500 more.
No way. Dude, I call bluff.
Yeah.
There's no way. China's juking those numbers. China! I know what you did. You're good, you. China is taking people and throwing them in a furnace. By the way, you know why their cases went down? Because if you go report a case, they go, oh, thanks, hold on. You know when you go into a doctor and they sit you on the little thing and they go, they take your blood pressure, they go, hold on, the doctor's going to come in. It'll be in a minute. If you complain of COVID symptoms, the Chinese guy goes, yeah, hold on, the doctor be in a minute. And then the military comes in, they shoot you in the face. I mean, there's no way. I mean, like, if you're reporting those symptoms right now, they are not even listening. They are not hearing that. Ain't nobody got time for that. They are going to put the gun in your throat.
Yeah.
They're going to pretend this is some thermometer. You're going to look at it, it's going to be a gun. They're done. China's done with this shit. They're like, we're done with coronavirus. Next. They don't give a fuck. Hey, guys, got to be honest with you. Maybe it's not the worst attitude. I don't know. I flippity flop. I'm on the fence here. We cannot sit in our homes for 6 months. I know some people think we can because they have no idea how the economy works, and they're masturbating all day. They think this is fun. They're eating pancakes and just whacking it, and they're like, this is great. What's everyone's problem? Some of us like to get out and do something. Doesn't mean do it tomorrow. We're not going there, but I'm saying eventually we need to get out. We can't just we can't all be sitting here waiting for martial law forever. Mm-hmm. Looking out the windows going, when are the tanks going to roll down the street? We don't want to burden the hospitals. I get it, but you still have to keep your eye on the prize. Think event, when things are good. In the summer, you can eat some baked clams. And you know what's great about this country? If the death toll is not as bad, you're just going to be out to dinner all summer with people that are like, I fucking told you. I told you it was fake. So it's like almost like, what's more annoying? going out to dinner with those people,
Mhm.
or just let's take a million or two and let's get them out of here.
Yeah.
Because those people are going to be so annoying that even though I don't want 2 million people to die, those people at dinner are going to be so fucking brutal to sit down and listen to, because they're going to be like, yeah, real big plague that was. So you almost want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You almost want some stats. Of course, we don't want anyone that we know to die.
Right.
Let's keep it strangers or people I don't really love. A lot of people that haven't done enough for me in the business. Let's be honest. My level of talent does not correspond at all to my level of money. I should have a lot of fucking money, and I don't. I have enough. Don't worry. I have enough. We're doing fine. We're getting by with the Patreon. But like, look at the. I could introduce you to millionaires who, I mean, these people. I mean, they can't spell their name. I mean, truly. 80,000 cases in the U.S., 85,000 cases.
Yeah.
What does New York have right now? New York leading the pack. NYC.
37,000 cases, 387 deaths in the state of New York.
You know what's interesting, man? It's a real reset for anybody who's young. If you're under 25, it's time to move back home if you can. Move back home. Listen, don't be upset. Don't think it's a failure. But if it's at all possible for you to go back home for 12 to 24 months and save fucking money, there's no shame in it. This is a reset. I can't go home. My mother's in a mental institution, and my father and his wife live together. I can't. There is no home for me to go. And I'm 35. That's also, you can't go home when you're 35. That's it. You're in your mid-30s. The home you go when you're 35 is your death, eventually. You're closer to that than the age when you can just walk, go home. Which is why, in retrospect, what a great time 9/11 was. It was just such a fun fucking time. 9/11. Wow. Just growing up, being young. Is it going to be anthrax? Is it going to be smallpox? What's going to get us? Bioterror? Nothing happened. There were no additional attacks. You know what's great about 9/11? Everything made you a hero. Going out and getting drunk made you a hero, because if you didn't go out and get drunk, the terrorists won.
Right.
Oh, so good. If you didn't go out and get drunk and eat a sandwich at 2 a.m., the terrorists won. Do you want the terrorists to win? No. So you go live your life. Remember President Bush? He's like, what can Americans do? He said, go shopping. Go shopping. Because that's what we are. We got to lean in a little bit to that. We are demons from hell. That's really what we are. We're not a good country of good people. That idea has to be smashed. Let's lean in. I get it. When Bush is like, go shopping, he's not wrong. He's like, what are you guys going to do anyway? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do grief counseling? Shut the fuck. What are you going to volunteer your time to talk to people? Do grief counseling? No. Go and buy a dress. Go get a car and drive it real fast. Fatty. Go get a panini press. Go get a waffle iron. I mean, that's what we do. Yeah. We shop, or the terrorists win. We get drunk, or the terrorists win. Mm-hmm. That was a great thing about 9/11. It was your patriotic duty to consume. Mm-hmm. To go out and gorge yourself with food and wine and booze. Do shots with your friends and get fucked up on the weekends, because this is America and that's how we roll. And Osama bin Laden will never take that away from us. He'll never take away our ability to go out to bars and get fucked up with money that we stole from our parents, one way or the other. Sometimes it was hard stealing. There's a little money on the mantle. It's mine. Sometimes you go right into the pocketbook, right into the purse. Take a little bit off the top. Go right in there and grab a couple of 20s, 50. Ooh, you got 100. Got to be a good night. Gotta be a good night. Hope she doesn't notice. She's had a few. A lot of people in Long Island stole. Kleptomaniacs. They steal money. They love it. I would take money every now and then. I was a junk box, druggie. Some people did it sober. That's funny to me. Hilarious. I mean, I know people who are stone cold sober stealing from their families. Great. No excuse. Stealing clothes, you know? There's something very deeply wrong with the area that I come from. It's a sickness. It's worse than corona. It's worse than COVID. It's 100% rate of being a piece of shit. That's the statistic. You grow up in Long Island, full of moles. Mm-hmm. You get a job because your mother's friend Deb knows someone at the rec center. You just sit there in a chair and watch people almost drown in the pool. Life is a meaningless waste of time. Don't kid yourself. And don't kid yourself. I don't think much will change in this country after this pandemic. You know, I thought that it would. I'm like, people are going to start getting serious. They'll move out to the suburbs. They're going to want kids. They're going to want, you know, they want real I don't know. It would be great if that shit ends, if your fucking one-man show is over, if you realize that you want to get, you know, something real in your life, tangible, property, family. You're not just going to waltz around being a dilettante, pretending to be an artist, wasting your own time and everybody else's. You know, New York could get dangerous again. The economy could get bad. Moving to a city like that could be a real risk. The fun might be over. You better really fucking want it. You better really want it. If you could get a knife to your throat on the A train, you better really want to be fucking funny and interesting. You better really want. Otherwise, the pull of the traditional life, the life that many of you should be living, the traditional life, that it's going to be very strong. After this pandemic, my prediction could be wrong, is that the pull of that tradition is going to come back. Suburbs back. I want space. I want property. I want a house. How many people are quarantining in a box right now going, no more? Yeah. I want out. I want something real. I want to love someone. I want them to love me. I want real responsibilities. I don't want to host a fair weather friends and people trying to step on my neck to get ahead. I want to get the fuck out of these cities like New York and LA and go. People like me are going to stay, but we should stay because we're good at what we do. You ain't. And you know who I'm talking to. If you're sitting out there and you're listening to this and you're like, hey, man, is he talking to me? Yeah. Yeah. If you even think like that, I'm talking to you. You should be sitting there going, fuck this fat fuck. I do it better than him. And then you got a shot. If you're sitting there going, fuck this guy. I could do that show better. His Netflix is whatever. Everybody sweats this guy, but fuck him. Who cares? I would do it better. Oh, I'm Megan McCann. Good. Now I respect you, you little demon. But you'll still fail. Because life's a bitch. So don't get too high on your high horse. Okay? Mm-hmm. I just spoke to Luis Gomez for an hour. This is what happens. I forget how much I like Luis. You need people like Luis right now. You're going to need people to figure out ways because there's going to be a lot of naysayers and doomsdayers. I'm one of them. I'm going to tell you to jump off a building. Luis is going to give you a ladder. And the ladder's going to break, and you're still going to die, but it's going to feel nicer. See what I mean? Guys, you've watched the show. You know how bad my skin is. Since a little kid, I have Irish skin, you know, which, you know, Irish is great. If you're Irish, you can, you know, tell fun stories, and you have a, you know, predilection for alcoholism. You're, you know, maybe in the arts. You're a fun hang, you know. Irish people are great. They don't cook. They don't know how to really do anything with money, but they're fun, you know. You might own a bar, or you're the life of the party, but your skin is grotesque. I know this from myself. It's red, it's scaly, it's blotchy. I always envied my Italian friends. I had a little more melanin, you know, but my skin was just always a problem, you know. No matter how I looked at my life, periods of losing weight, gaining weight, whatever it is, your skin just looks like shit. It just does. If you have fair skin, many people have different kinds of skin. It's not only Irish people, but I'm speaking for myself. I know that, I have that blotchy kind of Irish translucent skin that all of my emotions just bubble up in me, and you could see them on my face, little dots of red. And, so what I started using is something called Hawthorne. Okay? And Hawthorne has a lot of different stuff. They have a cleanser, deodorant, shampoo, body wash, lotion. All of these things made without the chemicals that you're going to find in places, when you're getting stuff in a drugstore. Okay? They have really something cool. I like cologne. I was never a cologne guy, but I do like cologne. And Hawthorne will definitely help you elevate your scent with an entire line of personalized colognes. That's kind of cool. Smelling good is important. Hawthorne smells really good, and they make the process of finding and buying your signature scent easy. So you take a quiz at Hawthorne. It takes about 2 minutes, and it tells you exactly which products match your style. In order to come up with the perfect kit for you, they'll ask you the usual questions about your skin type and how often you wash your hair, and they'll tailor your products to where you work and what you do for fun. So the climate of, this is an interesting place because the climate of where you live, what your skin is like, what you do for a living, are you outside, are you inside, they'll tailor all of the products to you personally. And there's none of the gross chemicals you get in the store-bought stuff. And they offer personalized skincare, cleanser and lotion, tailored to your specific needs. So if I say to Hawthorne, hey, hi, Hawthorne, I'm a gay drug addict, but I've been sober for 10 years. I haven't declared bankruptcy, but I bought a house. It was foreclosed on. I live in the underground economy, in and out of apartments. My mother's a schizophrenic, and I have fair skin. Help. They will tailor something to me. I don't know what they'll do. Might send a bag of cocaine out with the cleaner, but give them the information. You'll take a quiz. They'll ask you questions. All the other stuff, whether it's Cetaphil or Cerave, whatever, that's one size fits all. They pump billions and billions of gallons of glop into something, and, they have no idea who you are. You have no personal relationship. Hawthorne, which is what I like it, I was able to take the quiz. It was super easy. I said, this is what I do. This is my skin problems. And I've been using it. I just started using it. I'm going to tell you next week how good it is, but it feels better. My skin feels lighter. It feels better. It feels more hydrated and moisturized. I was very grateful that they sent me all that stuff. So check out Hawthorne, hawthorne.co. Hawthorne.co. Okay, that's Hawthorne with an E at the end. And use my promo code TIM to get 10% off your first purchase. 10% off the first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co. And use my code TIM. So if you need skincare, it's a great way to support the show. We're all quarantined. We're all home. We all need to look and smell good. Deodorant, lotions, shampoos, all of it, all natural. No chemicals. All to you. Hawthorne.co. TIM is the promo code. 10% off your purchase. You'll be glad you did. I'm just ready for the summer. I'm ready for the quarantine to end. I'm ready for these calls. You got to call your family now. Hi, hello. Yeah, it's bad. I know it's bad. I know. Oh, you're not going out either. I'm not going out. Yeah, no. I know. No one's going out. Yeah. And your family split between people who are like, Trump's a hero or Trump's the Antichrist, and whatever. Maybe it's going to be an interesting Easter. Easter for me was never a holiday that I loved. It was, you don't get anything. It's not like Christmas. It's not good food. Easter is about honey-baked ham. That's what it's about. Now, my nanny made a great mustard and vinegar glazed ham, which is even better. She took vinegar and Gould's yellow mustard. It was just a beast mode on that pink ham. Beast mode. The appropriate potatoes on Easter are au gratin. They're au gratin. You fucking savage. Mashed potatoes, fine. but it's an au gratin potato holiday. It's a pink ham holiday or a lamb holiday. It is not, or beef. You can do a Chateaubriand. You can do a porterhouse. You don't do fish. Christ just came back, you cheap fuck. You don't do fish. You do a fucking roast. If you're Hispanic, you can get away with fresh pork and shit. I'm not telling you people how to live. Last thing I need is a knife to my fucking throat. It's not pasta. God help you. It's not pasta. It's not a casserole. It is steak, ham, or fucking lamb. Nice rosemary crust on that lamb. Nice garlic and herb. Au gratin potatoes, string beans. The desserts are no chocolate. This is the rule. Chocolate is for the baskets. The desserts are pastry, creams, and fruit. Okay? That's what it's about. Light desserts. Appetizers they're nothing. They're dips. All the other holidays, you can have some warm appetizers. Easter, it's inappropriate. You have salads, light dips, things like that. It's a feast holiday. It's about a roast. And the desserts shouldn't be heavy chocolate winter desserts. We're in spring now, okay? What's a great Easter dessert is that Mill crepe cake. Mill, whatever, from New York City, where it's just layered with crepes and cream. That's a perfect fucking dessert on Easter, you piece of shit. All the podcasts, they all look at you like this. I like that. I don't want to look at you. The fuck over it. Tell me, I want you to look at me. Yeah, I don't have to look at you. You get what I'm saying, okay? Enough. Go watch something else. Why don't you look at the camera? Why doesn't your studio look like an adult treehouse? Why not? Why don't you read listener mail? Because I don't care what you say. Read listener mail? Why don't I listen to your show? Listener mail? You fucking on crack? Can we send in questions? No. We do the live stream. You asked a question. That's sending in a question. But that's what Easter's about. It's a good holiday if you eat. And but you got to don't fuck around. Do the right thing there. You're not going to be able to have Easter now. You're going to have what you. And here's the other thing. Let me say another thing about your quarantine content. Stop with the cute families doing like choreographed dances. There are people wearing garbage bags, contracting this disease and dying. Stop with your choreographed family pajama dance, you psychopath. What in God's name is wrong with you? I'm glad it took a pandemic for you to be a parent. I'm glad. But keep it to yourself. There are people that are struggling and dying that can't breathe on their own. Nobody needs to see you in a choreographed dance with your family in pajamas like it's a big fucking snow day. It ain't a snow day. Maybe this is why maybe I'm a little loud. This is why they're complaining. Who gives a fuck? I'll get out of this apartment in 3 fucking months. I'll go somewhere else. Think I give a shit, this shithole? Think I'm impressed here, you fucking apartment-dwelling pigs? The fucking own houses, huh? Scumbags. I love this complex. You Google everybody's father. See who's paying the fucking rent. Degenerates. These fucking apartment complexes in West Hollywood, they charge a lot of fucking money because everybody's a loser and they can't get a house, but they think they're less of a loser than some Kentucky person who eats carnival food because they get to live in Hollywood. Fuck you, you're a pig. And I'll kick you in your face. I'll beat that property manager up. I will fight a woman. I will fight a middle-aged woman in the street. Hummus at Easter, you serve. Something like that. Because the theme's Middle Eastern. I'll grab a hair. Ever see a woman get her hair yanked like that? She's not expecting it? Yeah. Oh, you should have thought better of that. Yeah. Only if she hits me first. And I'm protecting myself. The point that I'm trying to make is this. Stop treating this like a big snow day. It's not a vacation for the people that are in the hospital right now working their asses off. You know, and all kidding aside, these people are fucking working their asses off, you know? And I just think it's a little, you know, there was this one TikTok where, you know, people send me TikToks. I'm not even on the fucking, I should get on it. People send me TikToks. There's this one family that's like, it's my mom's birthday, so we're all dressing up tonight to feel special, even though we're in quarantine. Come again? You're in quarantine because there's a disease ravaging people's lives. We're all dressing up tonight to feel special in quarantine. You are special, you dumb cunt. You're not sick. And you're not fucking helping anyone in the hospital. You're the most privileged person in the world right now because you're fucking not sick and you ain't broke and you got enough fucking money to eat. So shut the fuck up. You wanted to feel special by putting a fucking dress on? You're as special as you get. You heartless cunt. It sounds like I'm always against women, but there's men also. Cunt is not gendered to me. Her cunt father was there and her cunt little brother. My cousin said that. He's like, that would never happen in our family. I'm like, yeah, we hate each other. My family hates each other, and it's my favorite thing about them. It's true. My family, we really dislike each other, but we're open about it. We're honest about it. And we'll tell you right to our face, go, yeah, we don't. Not for me. How's your uncle doing? Yeah, not for me. But it's just like, let's fucking calm it the fuck down with how happy we are on the, you know? It's like a big snow day. It's a snow day. Look at my new socks that match my pajamas. I'm eating French toast in bed. Outside, there's just gunshots and screaming. You just hear dogs screaming, howling at the night.
Yeah.
People I want to feel special. You're lucky you're quarantining with you know how many people are alone right now, man? I'm alone right now. I mean, Ben comes over and I have all of you fucking rejects that fucking listen. But you know how many people are alone right now? Like old people that are fucking alone and terrified, and you're on fucking TikTok dancing. Just fucking understand that you're lucky. There's a lot of people that are alone right now, man. Mentally ill people that are very sad. You know? You know? Some of them said the pandemic's not worse. But many people can go either way. I'm just sick of sitting in this apartment. I'm sick of the fucking, two of the rooms and you have carpets that drive my allergies fucking crazy. I'm taking a fucking thermometer every day, make sure I don't have COVID. Coronavirus. Stop thinking Andrew Cuomo is going to be your savior. He's a meatball. He's a goddamn meatball. He is better than Joe Biden. Joe Biden cannot be nominated to run for president. He is shot. He cannot be nominated. He has dementia. You got to go with Bernie Sanders or Andrew Cuomo. And I hate Cuomo because he's a meatball. He didn't shut down the city quick enough, and then he reversed his decision, and then everyone praised him for it. Like, he's making the tough choices. Yeah, make it a week before. Make it a week earlier. Save people's lives. I don't like him. I don't like his brother Chris at CNN. I do not like them. The Irish and the Italians have destroyed the country. Okay? They've destroyed it with their thuggery. So I don't want President Meatball. I don't need that garlic knot. Why is he on TV every day? Why do you have a press conference every day? You're not the president. You'd think he was running for president. He's on every single day. Hey, how you doing, Governor Cuomo? New York is a problem, but, we're doing everything we can. I talked to my friend Sal at the pizzeria, and he sent us a calzone to the hospital so everybody could eat. Hey, it's Andrew Cuomo. My brother works at CNN. His name's Chris. My name's Andrew. I'm a garlic knot. I'm a sausage and pepper hero. I'm the governor of New York. And everybody likes me because I can speak. I can literally enunciate a word. That's what he's so good. That's how bad it's gotten in the country, where people are like, he's a good speaker. He's not a good speaker. He can talk. That's the level we're at. He can speak. He's able to talk. Joe Biden's like, well, the Declaration, et cetera. So many people. Like, he's literally coming in and out of it. Do his aides know? I bet they know. I bet Simone Sanders knows. That big black chick that fucking... Wasn't it great to see her take that white animal rights activist cunt right off the stage?
Yeah.
Love that. But I bet Simone knows, and she's like, we're just going to run. We're running Joe, and that's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to run fucking Biden. And, his brain's rotted. I mean, why not? It's a dysfunctional society. Why not have the head of it have dementia? It's like a failed state here. We can't get masks to nurses. Do you know how many frozen yogurt shops we have in this country? I love somebody. There's a great article in The Atlantic about what could happen after the pandemic. It's very hopeful. It's a guy being like, people are going to turn to science, and kids are they're not going to want to be celebrities. They're going to want to be scientists, and public health is going to be the main issue in every political campaign. And I was like, man, I hope you are right, but man, I beg to differ. God, I beg to differ. I'll tell you that much. Kids are going to want to be scientists. Yeah, okay, we'll see. They're licking toilets. Which kids? The ones that are licking toilets and coughing on the fruit? Those kids are going to be scientists? Yeah, I don't think they've internalized this. I don't think they've really realized this yet. Who knows? I could be wrong. I've talked for so much today. It's like my third hour of podcast.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much just raw talking.
You're approaching like 4 hours of podcasting today.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I got to shoot this dumb thing for David Spade's show. God. I mean, I really had it. I was whining to Ben on the couch earlier. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. It's not right. I just like to go places, I like to get on a plane, get the fuck out of Dodge. I like to go to Dallas. I like to go to Austin. I like to go to Vegas. Those are my three favorite cities at the moment to go to. Austin, Dallas, and Vegas. They're all somewhat close. Texas, not really. Dude, what's fucking Vegas going to do? Vegas is very weird. I have a love-hate with Vegas because, I've been to Vegas a bunch, and I've had some of the best times in my life in Vegas, but I've had some rough times, too, in the sense that, like, I went there with a girl in senior year of high school that she was into me, and I was, I had to ruin it by being a faggot. It's like, I didn't ruin it immediately, but eventually it was ruined. So Vegas is always kind of like this weird town of like to me, I'm like, oh, you got to kind of, there's a thing about Vegas where it brings you face to face with who you are and what you're willing to do, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to gamble? Who are you willing to fuck? Who are you willing to lie to? What are you willing to do? What version of yourself can you be? You can be any version in Vegas. It's a very interesting town, Vegas. And I've always, even when I went there the last time and we had dinner with Ty Rivera, a funny comic, we were there. And I was like in love with the restaurant we were at and repulsed at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this, that we're watching a show outside while we're eating, and I hate it. And I love it and I hate it.
Yeah.
And that was the whole, that's my feel about Vegas. A lot of people feel the same way about New York. When I talk to people about New York that lived there for a few years, that didn't grow, they don't have like roots there or whatever. They're like, man, I love it and I hate it. But Vegas is interesting because there's this endless amount of options about, what you can do. Do you have money? Are you pretending to have money? Are you there to have a threesome? Are you there to fucking hook up? Are you there to gamble? Are you there to see a show? Are you there to perform? Are you there to be? But I also like the freaks in Vegas. I like the night, the freaks of the night, the people that used to inhabit cities like New York, before, all of those freaks started hedge funds. I like that element of Vegas. You go down to like, I think it's Fremont Street. I mean, it was, we were walking down there. I was like, it was rough.
Yeah.
Down there,
That big praying mantis shooting fire out of its antennas.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I was going to say it wasn't Primantis. I was going to say, and then it was the name of a comic, and it was going to make you laugh so hard.
Oh, but
we can't
we're
do
recording,
it. But it would have been just so funny. I was like, that wasn't Primantis. That was blank.
yeah.
Would have been so funny. But then I thought quickly, and I was like, who can I say where they won't be mad? And everyone's a cunt now, so no one. So we have to abandon that joke. And that won't hit ever as hard because it's not. But that's one of the best jokes that I do with Ben is he'll say something, and I'll be like, oh, that was blank. It's got to be like a quick little Woody Allen one-liner.
Or you'll see a homeless person walking by, and you'll be like, hey, you know blank, right? He just did Conan or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah. It's a good recurring joke.
It's never not funny. It's never not brightens the day. And the worse they look, the funnier it is.
Yeah.
Like if it's some guy just no shoe on, wandering around with his own shit in his hand, holding his shit. And I go, hey, you know this guy. It's funny. But Vegas is going to get hit. Vegas is going to get hit. It's going to get hit. But Vegas will always find a way. Vegas is a tough place. And the people that live there are tough people and a little crazy. And that's kind of what you need in a downturn. You need people to be tough and a little crazy. And people that live there and people that, they tolerate risk in Vegas. That's what the whole fucking town is, the whole thing. And I think that city, even though it's because it was crushed in the financial crisis, 2008, came back, it was crushed, So it's a city that I find pretty interesting, and I'm wondering how rough the road back is. But the road back is going to be rough for a lot of places because we're not even in the problem yet.
Right.
Everybody on TV is like, we're not even in the thing yet. I'm like, what? When's the thing? When's that? Can we not have press conferences until that?
Right.
Because I can't take a month lead up to that. I thought we were in it. We're not even in the thing. Well, we're not even in the wave. The wave hasn't crested. What? What's happening? I mean, can we get to that? Can we get to that now? Is there a way to rush that? Can we get to the wave? Can we cough on some old people? Shock test the system? What do you want to do here? But that becomes...
Drudge Report is saying deaths will top 80,000 in the next 4 months. Did you see that?
Yeah, but here's my question, okay?
Yeah.
That's horrible. What is that based on? The amount of people they think will get it versus the mortality,
Saying it may not subside until June, according to a data analysis done by University of Washington School of Medicine.
I think these data analysis models are not doing anybody any good. I think they're important to share internally with hospitals, but why do we keep putting this shit out in the news if it's based on, like, what the fuck, Put a few of them out. Let people know they could be settling in for a long haul. Why do we need a new model every day that's based on, just projections?
Yeah.
We don't know. This could have been circulating for 3 months. People have no idea. I mean, looking at the new data analysis model, this will crest in 2028. It's like, what? It's not useful. This is not useful information. These wild projections are not useful information. Tell people what to do now. Tell people what they can do now. But we're looking at April, May, June. I'm telling you right now, folks, we cannot have a 90-day quarantine. I don't think we can. And I just mean for the country. And I'm not saying, like, I don't want to put the vulnerable people out to work. Nobody should die for this. I'm not saying any of that. But I'm wondering if we can have a 90 to 120-day quarantine. Can we have shut the economy down for 90 to 120 days? I don't know. I don't think so. That $600 or $1,200 you're getting is not going to do anything for 120 days. So I think what eventually has to happen is once we get a handle on this, we have to start opening things up in small doses. There's just not a ton of other options here. If we could all sit in a bubble for a year and somehow eradicate all of that. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be, a few months. But I think May towards June, we're going to be looking at, hopefully, and then we're all going to be so fucking traumatized that when they open the doors and they go, you're allowed out, we're going to go, no.
Yeah.
We're going to go, no.
You're institutionalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stay in my cage. Thank you. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. I'm not for that, which is why I've always been critical of the people that are like, this isn't real. The virus isn't real, because I'm not an idiot. So I talk to people and they go, oh, it's real.
Yeah.
On the other side, though, I'm very aware of how this can be used to enslave a population of people. I'm not an idiot. I know that when you take away everybody's rights and you suspend rights that they would normally have had for an indefinite period of time, you're dramatically changing the way that they live. And that at the end of that, it can be incredibly tough to, adjust to the idea that that power isn't just innate in the government. They shouldn't be able to just shut it down and tell you, absent a pandemic, absent a public health crisis. Mm-hmm. And then what is a public health crisis? Now this clearly is one, but what down the road could be one that will be turned into a public health crisis? What, down the road can be used to shut it down? These are questions. These are real questions you have to ask yourself. You're getting a ticket for jogging in certain cities. So these are real, this ain't a drill. This is the reality of where you are. And you have to understand that while you're sacrificing your freedoms temporarily, you cannot indefinitely surrender them. And you can't also think that that's not a possibility, or that there are people that don't want you to have those freedoms. They don't want you to have any freedom. Truly, a lot of people do not want you to have any freedom. And people will voluntarily give up much of their freedom without guns, without, I'm looking at a lot of cities and, the expectation is that crime will go up. It probably will. It certainly will. But I also think that you're going to see a situation where there's so much publicizing of that fact. Oh, we're not going to prosecute small petty crimes, and the petty crimes are like actual crimes. Cars getting stolen, burglary. Mm-hmm. So real crimes. Property crime is a real crime. But when people start publicizing that they're not going to do anything about that, I'm like, what does this do other than terrorize the public? What are we doing here other than terrorizing the public? And I think that, what purpose does that serve other than terror, keeping you terrified? So I think that we have to just, it's a fucking hard, because you got to, it's like a gymnastics. You got to stick the landing. You don't fall either way, Not that I'm a gymnast, but, when I used to watch the Summer Olympics, stick the landing. You got to stick the landing here in terms of, like, you can't be like the virus is fake. You also can't be like, hey, just let me know. I'm just going to make waffles in my PJs and not fucking grasp what is happening, which is the shutdown of the largest economy in the world, and like a pandemic. You have to understand what is happening here. You have to kind of process that, and you got to compartmentalize it, because you can't go out and do the wrong thing and violate these orders and be unethical, put other people at risk, and at the same time, you can't forget that there is an outside and there is a job you have to return to, and that everybody has to return to. And you're not going to eradicate every case of coronavirus before that happens. Doesn't mean we're all going to be, fucking in churches in Easter, But at the end of the day, you gotta say to yourself, hey, this eventually ends. This eventually comes to a close. And then we look back at it. We saw how unprepared we were, and we try to figure out a way to be more prepared, But I mean, this could easily turn into a situation where this lockdown becomes, a problem, a big problem, more of a problem than the pandemic. And the government uses this to take the few remaining rights away that you have. And I don't like that. That's why the UBI idea, I was like, it's a great idea if I trusted the government. But since I don't, the idea that you could just give people universal basic income and just say, sit in your house, stay in your house, here's your money. You don't go earn money, here's your money. It's scary. It's scary, the idea that government could just pay you to sit there, Mm-hmm. I mean, there's something about that should trouble you, because now the only way you eat is the government. My friend said the other day, like, he's trying to apply for unemployment, young guy, and he goes, yeah, unemployment, man, the system's crashing. They won't answer my calls. I'm like, yeah, welcome to what it's going to be. Welcome to what it's going to be when you don't. And he's frantic. He's like, I got to get through. I got to get this money. I was like, welcome to what it's going to be when you can't earn a living. When the one thing that it's been taken from you. And now you are dependent on, the government to earn a living. I'm not saying the government can't do certain things. I'm not saying they can't, provide a level of health care to people, basic health care, so that people aren't going bankrupt every other day. But I don't want, and I have no business. This is why I'm not a Marxist, and a lot of the, some of the Sanders platform I agreed with, but a lot of his fans are out of control. I don't want the government providing me every need in my life. I don't want that. Then they get to decide what my needs are. I don't want that. I don't want that, because that is how you slip into, whether it's fascist or communist, there's not too much of a fucking difference. Truly. I mean, I know people rip me up for that, but it's true in terms of authoritarian structures. It's what they are. I want the ability to earn a living. I want the ability to choose where I live. I want the ability to choose who I go into business with. I want to choose the industry that I work in. I want to choose how much money I save. I want to choose all these things. And if I'm unable to do that, and I'm prevented from doing that, I've become some type of slave or bot, whatever you want to say. Maybe that's the updated version of that. Whatever it is. I don't have any power, and I have no interest in that. And that is a totalitarian society. And you see it in China. You see it in a lot of places. You see it in North Korea. And if you think it cannot happen here, you're insane. It'll be a different kind of totalitarianism. It'll be soft. It'll come with the Kardashians, It'll come with there'll be new TV shows every week. Here's Jimmy Fallon, and have you met Jimmy's wife? And it'll be a soft totalitarianism. It won't be hard. It won't be the cane. In Singapore, it'll be a soft totalitarianism where you're just fed garbage on television. You're fed garbage. You consume garbage, whether you're eating it or listening to it or watching it, and you don't have any power, and you don't have the ability to go out. They've already broken like the labor movement. If you're a worker in this country, you have very little power. You just don't have you don't really have power. If you're any type of independent journalist, you have very little power. You have almost no, other than utilizing the internet, but you have no mainstream power. You can't get your articles, no matter how well researched they are and well sourced, you can't get them in front of people. You can go indie and put them online and things like that, but you're boxed out of the mainstream. There's 4 or 5 companies that disseminate all the fucking information. They own all the channels. They own all the radio stations. It's fucking 4 or 5 conglomerates, and they just strangle that industry. So if you're an independent journalist, you just don't really have the opportunity. You just don't. You've been boxed out. The big money and the consolidation of those major companies, those conglomerates, has eliminated your ability to really, truly break through. People say it about YouTube, about everything. It's harder now to amass a following. It's harder to make money. Because the conglomerates, the cartels, the groups of people have come in and they've carved up a lot of these things for themselves. Google, Facebook, there's 5 companies. If you want to do anything online, you got to be, Google, Facebook, Amazon, YouTube. There's a few platforms that you have to be in business with. There is no other way. you know? So the type of fascism that will arrive in America, it's not going to be like the boot to the face. Fascism, it'll be like, yeah, checkpoints. Yeah, you just can't go here. You got to get approved to fly somewhere. And it could be done all under the guise of public health. Could be done. Yeah, where you going on vacation? Well, we'll tell you. We'll let you know. We'll let you know if you're approved to go on that trip. We'll let you know if you're approved to drive down this street. We'll let you know if you're approved to live in this community because we have decided what car you can buy. Because we've decided this is bad for the environment. You can buy this car. We're still going to have the other car. We're going to have the guns and the big cars and everything. But you're not, and we're going to still have the houses with the gates behind them. But, we'll decide where you live. We'll decide what industries you can be in. We'll regulate you out of them. We'll tax you out of them. We'll prevent you from getting into them. We'll cut you off. We'll cut you off at the knees. So the idea that all of this cannot be turned on you and truly used to and that doesn't mean that you run out tomorrow and you cough down your grandmother's throat and it doesn't mean that. It means that you pay attention. Be vigilant. Don't be stupid. Don't be making TikTok videos in your underwear. Understand what's fucking happening to this country. It could go bad quick. Could get bad quick. Your leaders, okay, are in a precarious position, and who knows what the fuck they'll do. God only knows what these people do if their backs to the wall. You got to realize there's a lot of people that aren't a fan of what has been happening, whether it's Epstein, whether it's some type of awakening. There's a lot of people that have a lot of money in the old structures and the old system, and they don't like that you can get on the internet, which is slowing down, by the way. I love reading those articles. The internet's slowing down. Everyone's on it, getting real slow. Maybe you can't use it on Tuesday. Maybe your day will be Wednesday. I mean, think all of these things aren't they're all possible. Trust me. And there's a lot of people out there that don't love how the internet's been used to unmask a lot of what they've been up to. They're not fans of that. So if they could eliminate that, they would. Now they can't yet, but watch them. I mean, watch these people like a hawk, to be honest with you. And I mean, that doesn't mean that this isn't a real disease and it isn't a crisis and this social distancing isn't justified. Because, after 9/11, a lot of the things that they implemented made a lot of sense in that moment. They made so much sense in that fever pitch of rhetoric when we were all terrified and we're like, what the fuck? And then they passed all of these things. Oh, we're going to read your email and we'll read your email and listen to your phone and, track you everywhere and imprison you if we want to and to torture you for information. And we don't have to charge you with anything. And we'll suspend habeas corpus and you're not going to be read your rights and we're not going to officially bring you. And if we want, we could just put you in a military tribunal show court and you don't get any type of democratic, you don't get any type of trial and there's no democratic process. We just everything the country's based on, we're going to take away. We're going to take that away now. Everything that the country's been based on, we're gonna get rid of that. We weren't right about that. We were wrong about that. Sorry. Our bad. My bad. So just don't forget that could happen here. And, this is a weird thing because it's this invisible enemy that we're going to be fighting, Wouldn't it be funny if, like, terrorism, after a while, if, like, we just we don't care anymore, like 9/11, like when people start talking about terrorists and Muslims, we don't even care. We're like, we don't stop. Like, stop. It's 20 years ago. Nothing's happened since. You can't get us. And, well, ISIS. No, we don't care. Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if in years you're still, talking about this? You're like, what about coronavirus? And everyone's like, you shut the fuck up. We know we know we don't have coronavirus again. Enough. Is that what the government's going to be able to do? All they had to do was mention an Arab guy's name, and the whole country was like, turned into little Hitlers. Heistein! Like, is all they're going to have to do now just be like this? They're just going to have to go, hey, everybody. And you go, fuck. Fuck, he's right. Go inside. Go inside. Take cover. It's Corona. I had a just before I go, I had a it's very interesting, man. You really don't know where life is going to end up. Life is surreal. It's fucking insane. I mean, there's nothing. Me and Ben were doing this show before the pandemic. We were doing a show in a bunker before there was a bunker. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And we were doing we were figuring out how to exist online before we had to. And we're grateful. I'm grateful for that. And for Ben was a huge part of that. But I will say, existing online primarily is not a nice place to be. The sunshine is nice. People are nice. Going out and performing live is nice. Being outside and meeting people is nice. And this, we're going to be here for you. We're going to be here every week, multiple times a week. But I'm just saying, don't give up every right immediately. Think about this. Think about where we're going. Figure it out, because I don't want to be in the digital world forever. I don't want to be just same thing where it's like a bunch of people just sat and watched TV during the 90s. It was great TV, but people just sat in a couch potato. Mm-hmm. Oh, that guy's a couch potato. Just sits on his couch. I'm telling you, man, it's not a nice place to be. Twitter is not a good place to live, man. Instagram's not a good place to live. Your sole interactions can't be Twitter fights and just people dancing on TikTok or some drunk they find in a Waffle House parking lot ranting about something. It can't be the only thing. You gotta get some air. Ben made a great point. He goes, what the fuck's Instagram going to be if nobody can go outside?
Right.
What are they going to do? People post pictures of their asshole every day? What are you going to do? There's nothing to do. So my thing here is just, it isn't a healthy place to live. Your phone, everyone is living in their phone now. It is not a healthy place to live. It's almost like the synchronicities, they're trying to bring it about quicker. They're like, let's just lock them in their homes, give them their phones, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see if when we let them out, if they want to be let out, or are they just going to be shaking in the corner with their phone because that's their only life.
Right.
That's their only life source. That's what I worry about. This is going to take a toll on people psychologically. It's going to be traumatic. TimDillonComedy.com. Who cares? There's nothing there. Go and buy merch if you want. Get a shirt. Tim J. Dillon, Dillon, on Instagram and Twitter. The two things I just told you not to go to. Go and follow me. The rules are the rules. I am looking for volunteer opportunities. If you're a first responder and you're low on money, DM me. I'll help you. If you're legit a first responder, and you're fucked, I don't have a ton of money, but if you're totally fucked and you're a first responder for whatever reason, and you shouldn't be fucked. You should have money if you're a first responder. But, we are going to find some ways, and I think we're going to order food for a hospital. That's coming up soon, which is cool. Because I do want to do something. You feel powerless not doing anything, but they need masks and ventilators, and what the fuck do I know? Mm-hmm. So, I just want the opportunity to kind of be photographed helping people. It's so important that I'm able to help people, in public, in a verifiable way that's very public. I'm able to go, hey, I want at the end of this, I want to walk into Cedars and I want everyone to start clapping and crying. And I want them to go, you're the hero. And I go, no, you're the hero. And then they hand me maybe a gold stethoscope or something. That's kind of nice, like a plaque.
Yeah.
and they say thank you, and the mayor of Los Angeles gives me a key to the city. You know?
Yeah.
You know? And then they look at me and they go, can we tell you something? You promise to keep a secret? And I go, yeah. And they go, the whole virus was fake. And I'm like, you fucking guys!
Hi, I'm Timmy the Trash Can, and I love trash. Popcorn boxes, cups, and candy wrappers. They all taste so good. Instead of throwing your trash on the floor, won't you please give it to me? Thank you for considering your fellow patrons.
Thank you to all the people on Instagram that have reached out to me that are gay, but also Nazis, that are very excited that there's a gay guy out there that doesn't make being gay his whole thing. And it's real fun. Some of those messages I get, people are like, listen, hey, I just want to let you know I'm a gay guy. I'm also a Nazi. And I just want to reach out because it's very important that I'm kidding, of course, but you do get a lot of messages from a lot of different people out there. You don't know who they are. You don't know who's a fucking Fed. There's some Feds in my inbox, probably. I don't know. Keeping tabs on me. Maybe not. Some dude who looks like a fucking hot lacrosse player, but it's really a 58-year-old in fucking Virginia in an FBI office. Just fucking trying to figure out the inner workings of my mind so they can co-opt me and weaponize me. The Irishman is a real movie. Finally, a real movie. I love the best Facebook status I read about The Irishman is a guy being like, you're not going to get it if you're not from certain parts of the East Coast, Jersey, New York, Philly. That's why people don't like it. They're not from these parts. Yeah. It's a guy that spent his life working at Blockbuster. He identifies with The Irishman, the movie about Hoffa. A lot of strong opinions out there in the world. We're in the month of December, folks. December is such a, as my boomer father would say, good man, as he would say, it's so fast. It all goes by so fast, which it does when you're destroying the world. It tends to, it accelerates when you're using up all of the resources. Yeah. It just goes so fast. That's all my dad would say at holiday parties. You know, he'd go, where does the time go? Where does it go? You know, it goes to mortgage crises and it goes to trillions of dollars worth of debt. You know, that's where it goes. It is a fun month. I'm traveling a lot. I'm going to the East Coast a lot. Try to link up with people. Somebody did this to me the other day, which I don't love. They do the dinner sneak where they go, hey, you want to do dinner? And I go, yeah. And they go, oh, great. So-and-so is going to come. And I'm like, no, they're not going to come. You don't do that. You don't ever DM somebody or text somebody and go, hey, you want to go to dinner? Because that's a solo invite. 2 people dinner is different than dinner with me and somebody else. It's a different game. When you bring somebody else to the dinner, 3 people dynamic, unless you all know each other well, the dynamic changes. So you got to be up front and go, hey, would you like to do dinner with me and blank? Not, hey, you want to do dinner? I'm under the impression it's just with you, and then you bring in a demon from hell. And then I have to sit there and eat Caesar salad with, I don't know, but it's not right. Be up front. These 2 cats are fighting again, man. They always fucking fight. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of hostility. These are not my cats. I'm living in a home in Los Angeles where the woman that I rent from has abandoned the home. She has gone to New York to live, which is fine. I'm renting it. It's a good deal. It's by the comedy clubs. It's right in central, LA in a nice area. I don't want to tell you really where it is because fucking I don't need people knocking on my door trying to tell me about QAnon. Okay, well, I'm waiting for Postmates. But what they've done is they've left the two cats here, and all they talk about is how much they love the cats. They love the animals, but they've abandoned them. They've abandoned the animals that they supposedly love. And her and her daughter, I mean, they all, when you bring up, they go, oh, is the cat okay? Is the cat okay? Well, come see it or take it. Get it out of here. And when one of the cats dies, which will happen, there's going to be crying and people are going to be upset. But it's like, if you care about the animals, be here for the animals. We've overdosed in this country on animals, dogs and cats. If you are young and you're in your 20s and you want to accomplish anything, which most of you don't, but if you truly do, you should not have dogs or cats. I'm telling you right now, and this is going to be unpopular with a lot of you, because a lot of you, stop fighting. A lot of you, I don't know what they're fighting over. Resources? There's enough here. They're like territorial over the litter box. Cats are so disgusting. The litter box always smells like shit. Cat food smells bad. Cats are filthy creatures. They're like mops, They just soak up all the dirt and the dust. Things live on them, fleas and ticks, and God only knows. There's a whole fucking ecosystem living on these beasts. And dogs are not much better, folks. They're not much better. And I know a lot of you are going to get angry right now because you don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. This is Tim Dillon's holiday message. Are you ready for it? Because I don't shy away from controversy. I had Kyle Kashuv on the Patreon. He's the Parkland kid that wants more guns, and he says the N-word, and he lets it fly on Xbox Live. And I had him in my home, and I bought him sushi, and that ungrateful fuck didn't say thank you, and I should have opened some hot lead into his abdomen and see how he liked it, because I spent $100 on a sushi platter, and I got 3 pints of ice cream from Salt and Straw, which was another $50 fucking dollars. Where your Patreon money goes is feeding this fucking Jew. And furthermore, he comes into the house. He shits on Ben for vaping. Ben does vape a lot, but he's made a lot of positive changes in his life, and he doesn't need to hear shit from this little kid, okay? Who's famous because he accidentally didn't get killed. And so he's yelling at Ben for vaping, and poor Ben gets really mad, and Ben never gets mad at anybody. But Ben's like, hey, man, I used to smoke cigarettes and drink, and now I just vape. And it's like, Ben, don't let this little prick get under your skin. Ben, can you get the Pokeball is here? That's not a euphemism for crack. That's a literal Pokeball. Just sit it on the table. I'll get to it later. The key to the Pokeball, folks, is a Sriracha Ponzu. You gotta, the Sriracha, what is it, Sriracha? It's not Sriracha, right? It's Sriracha. Yeah, that's the move. But anyway, so Kashuv gets here, and we also have Sam Tripoli for an hour, talking about QAnon and Frazzle Trip, and, talking about the Hillary Clinton kid cookbook. So that'll be out too. You're missing a lot by not. I'm really giving I'm really giving a great unsubscribe from the Patreon pitch right here. So Kashuv gets here. Then he starts shitting on Oscar because Oscar's fat. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows Oscar from Instagram. He's the fat cat. I'm like, number one, Oscar, if you shave him, is not that fat. He's not morbidly obese. He's a fat cat because cats are supposed to be fat. And then Kashuv's like, no, animals aren't supposed to be fat. It's not natural. I'm like, what about elephants, bears, whales, There's a lot of fucking animals that should be fat, Kashuv. You know-it-all little prick who's 18 years old. He doesn't know anything. Sweet kid, but he was really testing us last night. And he comes in here and he just fucking starts popping off, calling me a boomer because he says I don't text right. It's just out of control. No respect. No respect. Okay? So my point, folks, about the animals is, and this is what I mean. I don't shy away from controversy. We bring it to you raw, uncensored. I go at Kashuv. Now, some of you are going to be mad at me because I push him on his narrative because he's like, guns, guns, guns. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Here is an AK-47. And I know that every time I push back a little, I go, wait a minute, is there a better way to do it? All of you get mad because you think, oh, you're a Hollywood shill. You're being paid. No one's taking your guns. What I'm saying is if anyone comes on the show and I'm going to push back at what they're saying, number one, because it doesn't necessarily make a good episode to agree with somebody. It's actually not a good episode, but many of you are too insecure in your own beliefs. So all you do is listen to people that you agree with already because your lives are meaningless. So you just turn on whatever garbage that someone will agree with you already because you just want to hear that you're right. So you can go back to your loveless home and choke down a pork chop and then go to sleep, knowing that you're in the right. You're on the right side of history, pal. So yeah, I do have questions about guns. I do think there's a better way to do it. You should make guns harder to get. You shouldn't take them away, but you should make them harder to get. No, they're already hard to get. Well, shut up. They're not as hard as they should be. I think most people would agree with that. Most sober, rational people would agree with that. So I push back a little bit of Kashuv, okay? I know that online you're all psychopaths. Most people are in the center. Most people don't care. Most people don't want to, rehabilitate Stalin or Hitler. That's just not what they do. They're sitting in a cubicle with little Christmas cards on it. They have a family. They're just trying to get by. They're not into, the extremes. I talk to people all the time, and it's like some people just online all day, every fucking day. Take a walk. Take a walk. But we have Kashuv on here, and now that Kashuv's been here, I think everyone should have a gun, and most people should get shot. I'm now pro school shootings. Because I've interviewed him, I want no gun restrictions. I want everybody that wants a gun to have a gun, and I want schools to be shot up randomly. So, because these fucking 18-year-olds, this kid comes over here, the sushi doesn't say thank you. There's no thank you. Anyway, the point I'm saying about the dogs and cats, here's what I'm saying about dogs and cats for Christmas. If you're having a Christmas event at your house, have the decency to put your dog or cat to sleep before you have your family there. Put them down. Put them down. Especially if you don't have a big home. If your home is not already impressive. If it's not, nobody wants to smell the dog or the cat, the mangy. Put them down. Put them to sleep. And I know it's a controversial message. Put your animals to sleep and focus on yourself. You made a mistake. Learn to love yourself. Get rid of the dog. Get rid of the cat. They do not love you. They just want food. Yes, they're fun to have when you've reached something in life, they're fun to have. But when you're struggling, you got to get people to watch your. Do you know how many people I see online that have people watch their dog? Can you watch my dog? There's a whole industry of people that bring losers in to watch their animals. Kill them. Put them down. Get rid of them. If you cannot handle the responsibility of having an animal, get rid of it. You are giving yourself an excuse to be a loser. I can't do it. My dog, my cat. You've adopted another person, another life form that is needy, just like yourself. You're needy. You need someone to come and feed you. You need someone to come and walk you. Now you've adopted another loser like yourself who needs constant attention, and then you try to pawn it off on other people because you can't afford. If you're paying, that's one thing. If you have a professional come in, that's a different game. But if you're just pawning your animals off on your friends and family because and or your children, on your friends and family, you should put them to sleep. Your animals and your children. Put them to sleep. Smother them. Smother your children. If you cannot, if you had a child and it's 2 or 3 years old and it's too much pressure, smother them in their sleep. Sometimes I say lines like that because I think it'd be a very funny place to put an ad. Like right after smother your children in their sleep, I could start talking about Ridge Wallet. I just think that's I'm not serious about smothering your children. I'm not serious about killing your children. I'm really not even serious about putting your animals down. What I'm saying is I'm making a point in a funny way. My point is that far too many people have pets. It's gotten out of control. Far too many people make their pets their identity. It's very sad and it's very disgusting. And we all see that you're doing it. And listen, I put pictures of Oscar up online all the time because he's funny, okay? Because he's been deplatformed. He lost a social media account for publishing Nancy Pelosi's address. He's been accused of trying to violently overthrow the government. He's been kicked off a lot of crowdfunding sites. So when I platform him, it's because he lacks a platform. But enough with the animals all the time. You know what I'm saying, folks. Use your own judgment. But what I'm saying is you just have to, enough already. My father and his wife bring their dog everywhere. My father and his wife have 3 dogs. You want to hear about these dogs? I'm going to tell you about these dogs, okay? My father is married to a lovely woman. She's very liberal, which is great. Her parents are very liberal, but they're lovely people, and I enjoy them, okay? How liberal is she? Here are the names of the dogs. Fred, for Frederick Douglass. By the way, my father and his wife are white, just in case you were wondering. White, like I'm white. Blotchy, red, Irish white. Pale, translucent, burning. Skin cooks like a red lobster in the sun. White. Okay? White boys. Suburban white. She might be a little Cuban, whatever. Fred for Frederick Douglass. What's the other dog's name? Maya. For Maya Angelou. Maya's a lily white dog. Maya's a white dog, looks like a white supremacist. The third dog is named, Ruth, for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Maya Angelou, and Frederick Douglass are their 3 dogs that they have. They brought them to my grandmother's house one year, and my Uncle Tommy, who is like a drunken lunatic, but I do like because I appreciate that in a person. He has a Make America Great Again hat, and he's great. He's just a fun guy. He kind of lets it fly when he's doing the barbecue. I think he had some business deal that didn't go well with Jews once, and he's like, maybe little Herschel can't go to summer camp this year. And he's like flipping burgers. I enjoy that, I like when people lean in, He came up to me once. He's like, your lifestyle's no problem with me. I'm like, well, thanks so much. Thanks for calling it a lifestyle. I appreciate it. Should I go die of AIDS now on the kitchen floor just to make, So he's nuts. I mean, he's a crazy person, but I appreciate that I like him. I like him better than the liberal people. Like I rather him, This is why Trump gets elected, because you'd rather like Kamala Harris drops out today and all these people they're throwing a fit. It's like, knuckle it down. Get ready for the fight. Stop tearing each other apart. You want diversity? I'll support Cynthia McKinney. Do you know who Cynthia McKinney is? She's the black 4-term congresswoman from Georgia who punched a fucking cop on Capitol Hill and questions 9/11 all the time. I'll support her. Phone bank for Cynthia. Hi, this is Tim Dillon. Have you heard about Cynthia McKinney? She just wandered into the Gaza Strip and just started going crazy one day. I support her. Bring her in. Pull the lever for synth. But so they got these 3 dogs. They bring them to my grandmother's house for her birthday. My Uncle Tommy like loses his mind. He's had a few drinks. He's like, you know that my mother hates dogs. You're fucking selfish. You're selfish. Like, and by the way, he's 100% in the right. Leave the animals home. Don't travel with, nobody wants your animals in their house. Now, Tommy's maybe wrong about a lot of things. Race relations, gender dynamics, who you should and shouldn't support in World War II. I don't know. But he was right about that. Get your fucking dogs out of the house. Too much with my dad will just text me a photo of his dog. He's like, hello. Fred says hello. And I get it because the kids are raised. The kids are raised and there's nothing really to love except boomers didn't really love the kids that much anyway. The boomsy booms, the boomers really weren't that into the kids. The boomers would bring the kids to do things they wanted to do. That's why me and my generation saw like movies we shouldn't have seen when we were like 5 because our parents wanted to go. So they would just sit us in the theater next to them while they saw Basic Instinct while Sharon Stone's getting plowed and you're fucking 9. But it is what it is because your parents weren't going to get a babysitter for you because it was about them. And now the dogs, and this is why so many boomers love their animal. And I'm not hating on you. Listen, I love animals. Everybody loves animals. I'm just saying it's a little too much. You know what I mean. We all know what I mean now. There's people walking around New York City pushing strollers with dogs in them. It's fucking insane. It is crazy. And for whatever reason, the boomers have gotten really into animals. The boomers have really gotten into like dogs, little dogs and cats. And they're more into that than they were ever into being parents. So it's very interesting to watch that happen because they're a little older now and they're like, they love doting on an animal. I'm just saying as the holidays come up and you're asking people to go to your homes, just keep in mind that not everybody's in love. Everybody loves a dog that's clean and well kept, and a cat is fun. But let's not have a barn when you walk in a house. You know what I mean? This house that I'm staying at, sometimes when you walk in, it's you like walking into a barn. When I first got here, there were multiple dogs, multiple cats, and you'd be walking in and you hear, when you're at somebody's door, I fucking cringe when I'm at somebody's door and I hear the fucking panting and the fucking already I hear the collars jingling and the panting and the barking and the screaming because I know I'm going to walk into a pigsty. I'm going to walk into a pigsty. I'm going to walk into a barn. And I'm going to walk into a disgusting home that smells like a wet dog. Or it smells like cat piss. It smells like a cat just took a piss all over the house. And I know people love their animals. I'm not going to keep doing that disclaimer. I'm doing it one more time because I love animals. I don't hate animals. But I think people need to realize that you need to fucking keep up with the animals can't run the house. You know? Far too many people, you go into their homes, the animals run the house. You sit on the couches, 5 dogs have jumped on you and start drooling, biting, fucking you. My friend just got a dog and, everything's about his dog now, which is great. He loves his dog and but he doesn't have time to see his dog that much, but, he loves his dog and it helps him learn responsibility, which is good. And that's, I appreciate that. I respect that. I'm just, I'm going to wrap it up with the animal chunk. I'm just saying, I was at somebody's house the other day, knocking on the door, you're waiting to walk into their home. And you're just basically bracing yourself for everything you own to be ruined. You're bracing yourself for spit and fucking hair, just dog hair and cat hair. And then you're just brushing it off yourself in an Uber, just clumps of hair. And then wherever you're going, you walk into a meeting, you're walking in somewhere else, it looks like you have pubic hair all over your body. Manscaped, that'd be a great Manscaped placement. That's why you get Manscaped. Office Christmas parties are coming up, folks. Office Christmas parties. Maybe some of you are throwing them. Office Christmas parties are a lot of fun. Not as much for sober people. They're just not. Many of you are sober. I'm sober. Things are less fun for us now. Own that. Understand that. Stop living in a fantasy world that things are as fun as they used to be. But things are not as fun as they used to be, but they're also not as bad as they used to be. There is the trade-off. And when you're an adult, you understand that that's what it is. Life is a trade-off. It is not as fun to go to a Christmas party sober. In fact, it's almost pointless. Not completely pointless, but it's almost pointless because alcohol is that social lubricant that allows you to really, first of all, what alcohol allows you to do at Christmas parties is you start looking around at the people that you see every day and you start appreciating them and you start imagining that what's going on constitutes a life, which it doesn't at all. But alcohol allows you to believe that Sue from accounting and you have a bond because that one time she got your name wrong, but then she rushed a change so that you could get paid by Friday. And remember that, Sue? Remember that? And remember when you came in the kitchen and I was like eyeballing Natalia's lunch and you made that joke, oh, don't steal her lunch. And I didn't. And, but you always kind of looked at me skeptically, Sue, because of that. And you thought maybe he was stealing lunches and I wasn't. What I was doing, this is all hypothetical. What I was doing is I was looking at what other people ate. That's what I was doing. I wasn't stealing anything. But why don't you go back to your office and fucking get the names on the checks right? Because I've worked here for 7 months, Sue. So what alcohol allows you to do is when you get really hammered, you don't want Sue to die in a car accident anymore, which is what you want every day. You want to say hello to Sue. You want to say, how are you? How's your daughter? You have a daughter. Oh, she's going to Northwestern. Isn't that good, Sue? Great. Yeah. And then you make some dumb joke. And that's what it allows you to do. You look around at the people in your orbit and you go, oh, these are people and this is a life. I'm living a life. This is a life. This'll do. This'll do. It's Christmas. I work at a shitty company. We all hate each other. We're all terrified of losing our job. We're working for this fucking drunk loser. This whole thing's probably a Ponzi scheme. We're probably going to be thrown out into the street any minute. But right now, there are lights on the bar. There's booze in my cup. There's a Southwestern egg roll. If you're lucky enough to be at Chili's. There's a Southwestern egg roll, or there's a little shrimp with a tangy fucking, cocktail sauce, or, what do they love in Long Island? That bang bang shrimp, that fried shrimp with that chipotle, aioli bullshit fire cracker sauce, where you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you can nibble on that and booze it up while Bald Mike from accounting comes over and tells a couple of street jokes that he heard. And if you have to do that sober, you want to shoot up the whole thing. It's hard to do. It doesn't make any sense because you realize very quickly if you're sober that this is a horror. Of all the places in my life I could have ended up, to end up in this shitty bar in a strip mall with these losers in this corner of the world is such a human tragedy. Sure, it's not as bad as stepping on a landmine or having cancer or getting fucked every day by senators or having a fucking, an adoption go wrong and then you're getting burned with cigarettes. I get it. People have worse problems. But if you're a sentient human being and you're self-aware and you look around and you have to fucking have another conversation with Denise, who talks only about the one time she went to Aruba and that she's saving up for another cruise so she can take her plump, fat Italian ass and put it on the top deck of a Carnival ship so she can tan. And when I tan, I'm basically black. I'm basically black when I tan. I tan, I'm black. I'm black when I tan. And you have to sit there and you have to listen to these people, these mouth breathers that don't have any idea that they too are locked in this hell, that they are in this fucking simulation, but they are not cursed with self-awareness like you are. They are like animals. They don't have the power of reason. They don't think. They just fart and fuck and move and the pedal to the metal, and then they stop the car and start the car, open the door, close the door, take a shit. I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. Cocaine, nostril, boom. That's what they do. But you, for whatever reason, have been cursed, like much of humanity, with a little self-awareness. So when you're at that bar and maybe you're a little early and you're waiting in your car because you don't want to be the first one there, but you're not going to go home first, because if you go home first, you know you're not going to fucking go. You know you're not going if you go home first. So you get to the place a little fucking early because, God forbid, you work a little harder at work. So you get there a little early and you're just in the bar and you get there and you're alone and the only person who's there is fucking Ralph, and Ralph's creepy as fuck and he's probably a pedophile. You don't know, but he's fucking weird because he talks about high school girls a lot and that makes you very uncomfortable. And Ralph is there and you're like, fuck, I don't want people walking in and seeing me and Ralph there. But who walks in? The boss. And he walks in because you're standing there with fucking Ralph. And you're like, fuck. And the boss is there just to make sure everything goes well tonight, you know, because he knows he's running a scam, but at least he's got to keep everyone invested in it. Once a year, he throws a stupid, shitty Christmas party. We get a tray of wings, a chafing dish of, balsamic chicken, some penne alla vodka. And you walk around, you commiserate with these fucking dolts that you work with and you have to see every day. And at that point, some booze and a few hits off a fucking blunt or vape can really go a long way. A nice cold cigarette when you're all lubed up with some Kettle One can really help a holiday party just sail by. It almost might be fun. It starts to get fun because you start to realize it's not that bad. Things aren't that bad. Things aren't that bad. Look where other people are. That kid you grew up with, he's dead. Remember him? No one. He just disappeared one day and they found him in a lake. What happened to him in those final hours? You'll never know. But you're in Long Island. It's okay. There's movie theaters and Italian restaurants and girls that might suck your dick if you buy him eggplant parmesan. Things aren't that bad. And sure, you didn't really do anything with your life and you're just floating around. You're 25 years old. You're sexually weird and confused. You can barely perform with women. You don't have that many friends left. Many of them have passed you by and they threaten you so you get them out, you know, and it's fine though, because at the end of the day, these people at this shitty job see promise in you. I mean, do they really? Let's be honest. They hired you before you even said anything. They just needed a warm body in their office to convince themselves what they were doing was fucking reasonable. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's not that bad because you can call that fat girl again that you boned last month. Maybe she'll be involved and then you can just fuck, not even because you enjoy it, just because you can say to yourself, well, I'm fucking, I'm part of it. Things are going to happen. You can imagine that shitty little Levitt home you'll buy in a few years when you just save your money and your parents are proud of you because you finally have a basement apartment in Hicksville with Formica counters. Okay, so things aren't that bad. You're not in jail. You're not in prison. You're not dead. You know, it's what you do. You measure yourself against the absolute lowest of the low. You say to yourself, hey, I'm not shooting up schools. Look at me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just here. And maybe it's a dead-end job. And maybe I have nothing left and I have nothing in common with these people. And every passion that I have, I've extinguished because they've all frightened me. But it doesn't matter because I had a few Kettle Ones and I smoked a joint and Ralph's kind of funny now. And Denise, she's a big goofball. She's saving for a cruise. You know, when she tans, she looks black. She's got a big fat ass. And you might fuck that ass. Who knows? It's weird. But then there's another guy in the office, Clark. He's kind of gender non-specific. Would you let Clark blow you in a bathroom? You don't know. That's for the third or the fourth drink to tell. And you actually start liking your boss, even though he's clearly a criminal. criminal and he'll probably be in jail in a few years. What he says makes sense about hustling and grinding and just making it happen. He didn't need a college degree, you know? He didn't need, you know, any discernible talent or skill. He just kept pushing through, kept calling old people and telling them they should remortgage their house. Okay? And you just followed that because you wanted to prove that you're a real man with a Lexus. And in those situations, it is so essential to have a cocktail, a stuffed mushroom. I mean, this is what it is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to get better. It's not going to get better. The things that I have to do for my own business sober. After my Netflix special, I went to the Netflix party and it was embarrassing because Netflix had like a bucket of hummus that they poured on the floor and all these poor comedians got on their hands and knees and lapped it up like street cats in an alley. I was, of course, appalled by this, and I looked at my manager and I said, I'm leaving, and I went with my friends Eric Taylor and Laura Severse, very funny comics from Boston, to a local Waffle House where we witnessed almost a fight, but the Waffle House has guards. But listen, it was late at night and people were passionate. My point is that Waffle House with two close friends was much better than a shitty party. Now, many of the other comedians enjoyed that. They enjoyed hobnobbing with agents and managers and networks. They like scum. You know, they like vapid shells of human beings. They want to walk around and feel like they're important. They want to really luxuriate in that moment. To me, I hate it. I'm disgusted by it. And I want to leave immediately because it's low rent shit. It's low rent shit. It's comedy. It should be. Okay? It's not a fucking velvet rope. It's not a fucking VIP section. You're not getting head in the back of One Oak or 10 Maple or whatever the fuck these places are. You're in a shitty hotel bar with some executive from Netflix eating hummus. It is not an accomplishment. It is an embarrassment. It's another word that sounds like it. I can see how you would get them confused. So you run away if you have any sense. I have to go to parties all the time and I stand there sober and I realize I don't really enjoy many people and it's not their fault, nor is it mine. It's just the way it is. And booze would help that and weed would help it and pills would help it, but that's okay. It's okay because I realize that those things also have many, many negatives. And some people I really do enjoy. And it makes the person you do connect with sober all the more meaningful and important. You know, maybe, whatever. The point is, you can't relapse, folks. You can't go back. You can't go back. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because you're going to find a way out of that life. If you sober up, if you fuck, because I have a lot of people fucking messaging me about drugs and alcohol. A lot of people. If you find a way to sober up, you got a few shitty Christmas parties ahead of you. You're going to find your way out of there. You're going to find a way to do something that you really fucking enjoy. That's what it is. Survival is not only about finding food, water, and shelter. It's about finding something that doesn't make you miserable to do. You'll find that, you know? Or you'll find a way to make more money being miserable. I don't know. And then find a hobby you like. It's not my business. I'm just saying, I'm not going to lie to you because the month of December is very tough in terms of sobriety. It's tough for a lot of people. Many people, you know, they talk about their family Christmas. They like getting fucked up on their family Christmas. But to me, it was always the office Christmas party. And, you know, when I was in mortgages, you would not only go to your party, but you would go to the parties of the real estate agents or the title companies. You would hit a few different office parties, you know, and even the bars and restaurants in your area, they all seem festive. And when things seem festive, it seems like a fun time and you should just booze it up. It just seems fun. Every day's a party. Thursday night's a party. It's a party. And you can all just go out and really get fucked up. But you just can't do it. Unless you're in the throes of it and you're not ready to stop, then just don't drive. Get an Uber. Get a cab. Because I get it. When you're ready to let it go, you let it go. But there is no place that booze to me serves more of a function than an office Christmas party. I know that obviously when you go out Friday, Saturday night, you're trying to get laid, that's a huge thing. Guys and girls, heterosexual, it's a big deal. Gay dudes, it's not as big of a deal. Most of them are on drugs anyway, I would imagine. I think most of them are, not all of them. The dudes I hang out with they're barely gay. They don't come out. They're very weird. They're not in the gay scene. So I don't really know. But most of the gay guys in the area that I live in seem to be on crystal meth. I don't know if that's the case or not, but they also seem to have a lot of money. They seem to be doing well. I don't know. Is crystal meth a problem? Maybe not. I don't know. The point is, I know, people, Rogan and Fitzsimmons talked about it the other day. It's like men and women hitting on each other sober. It's weird. But when you talk about social interactions, the office Christmas party calls for getting fucked up. There's no other time that calls for booze more than that party, because you kind of know these people. You spend your life with them, but you don't. It's a very interesting, coworkers are very interesting. They're not your friends, but they are your friends. You see them more than your friends. You see them more than your family. But there's that understanding that if you get fired or if you quit, it's over. No office friendships ever last. It just doesn't happen. Don't DM me and tell me that yours did. I don't care. You're a loser if that's the case. When you walk out of that office, it's kind of over. You might see that person a few months later. You might have a French onion soup, but that's it, because your bond is being in the trenches, whatever those trenches are, whatever they are. And then your bond could grow into other things, but it's really contingent on where you work. So when you go out for that Christmas party, jokes hit so hard in an office setting because everybody understands the premise. Everybody knows Doreen. Everybody knows she's full of shit. So when you crack on her, everybody explodes with laughter. A really great comedy show is the same thing. It's like everybody gets the premise. They get what you're doing and they get why you're saying it. That's why if your fans come out, it's so much better of a show, because they understand your point of view. When you attack a subject, they get it. You have to do less work bringing them in. They're already there, And that's why some of the hardest laughs I've ever gotten outside of stand-up comedy have been in an office, and specifically at an office Christmas party, because that's the time to bring out your A material. Everybody's shit-faced. Everybody knows the premise. They understand things. Oh, the government's fucking us. We all got to take this new licensing exam. They're cutting our commissions. The company's fucking us, There's that moment in an office Christmas party where somebody comes up to you and you don't really know that person that well, but you have this interaction that you feel is really meaningful. And then you see them the next day at the office and you realize that you hate that person. But it's that one magical moment where you have a conversation about a hockey game you were both at. And then the next day at work, you're like, oh yeah, I hate him and he hates me. And you can never not hate each other because that's the way it's supposed to be in the world. But it was that one beautiful moment at the office. There's also that amazing little huddle that you all have when you're all smoking cigarettes. And by the way, if you don't smoke cigarettes at an office Christmas party, fuck you. I don't care if you have emphysema and you have to smoke it through a hole in your throat. That is a office Christmas party. You smoke that fucking cigarette. You do it 9 months pregnant. You do it however you need to fucking do it. Don't fucking, when you go out and you smoke cigarettes and you usually it's the boss and he's got a team of guys, 4 or 5 guys and you women, whatever. And it's, he's smoking a cigarette and he's just kind of giving you, it's like he's giving you, it's not really a pep talk. But it's just kind of it's like a year in review type of thing. And there's something nice about that because he's like, let me relate to you as a human being. I'm going to talk to you as a person and maybe you share some story from the past and, you're there and you're like, oh, this, he, at that moment, what he's trying to do is convince you that he doesn't look at you like a piece of shit, which he does. And he has no reason not to. But in that moment, he's just drunk enough and he realizes the responsibility he has. He has to look at you like a person and talk to you like a person because he needs people to work at the company. And he doesn't need you to go back to college or fucking, move to fucking another country or whatever you're considering, or kill yourself. He needs move to another country. It's like, who's my audience? They're not moving to another country. But you know what I mean? Move to another county, maybe county. I meant county. But so that if somebody says to me, what do you miss? Like, what do you miss about drinking? I kind of miss an office Christmas party. And I'm reminded of that in December. And I've been to really shitty ones. I've been to bad ones. I've been to ones that where they bring in a hero into the office because things are really fucked and it's been a bad year. And they bring in a big hero and some macaroni salad and people just start making drinks in the office. I've been to some bad ones. And those are the worst because people are not making that much money. They're pretty depressed. And it's very, if you're in an office Christmas party in your office, you're fucked. I mean, it's not a good sign. You got to be at least somewhere else. There's no other way. There's no other way that it works. How many times do I have to tell you people that you need to change your life? You need to get a new outlook. You need to remove negative, toxic people from your life and also positive people. That's something nobody tells you. You also have to get rid of positive people too. Negative people that goes without saying, but many positive people also have to go. That's just a fact. You also need to get rid of material possessions that you once considered useful. Okay? And you need to find sharper, sleeker, more cost-effective alternatives. One of them is the Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet is a minimal front pocket wallet that's designed to streamline what you carry every day. It has 30,000 five-star reviews and is a better way to carry your cash and cards. It's a small wallet. It's metallic. It's almost indestructible. The cards do not fall out. The cash does not fall out. None of this falls out. What it is a minimal, sleek wallet. You use it. You streamline. You take all of this shit that's in your other wallet. You look through it. You go, what do I really fucking need? You go, nothing. I don't need anything. I'm throwing these cards out. They're maxed out. I'm cutting them up. I'm not going to live in a cycle of debt. I'm not going to owe $21 trillion to China and have to finance it on a bubble of illegal wars and torture. I won't do it. You throw those cards out. You keep one card, one credit card, one debit card. You get one business card, your lawyer, your accountant, somebody important that you speak to. Okay? You put a few other things in there. An identification. It's all very streamlined and simple. Everything else is on your phone. Everything else that you need is digitized. You don't need a big wallet. It's unattractive. It makes you look like an idiot. Makes you look like a fool. It really does. I think the Ridge Wallet is the first step to making you reevaluate a lot of the things in your life. Well, how much excess is in your life right now that you don't need? How many things and people in your life do you not need? Would you be better off without that you could just get rid of, dump, leave on the side of the road? Do you need your wife? Do you need your kids? Do you need your pets? Do you need that job? Do you need the state you live in? Do you need your town? Do you need your mother and father, sister and brother? Do you need your friends from college? Do you need your high school buddy? Do you need all of these things that weigh you down, these people, these burdens, these people that expect things from you, that tear out a chunk of your flesh? Maybe you do. Maybe you need some of them. You don't need all of them. I know for a fact you do not need all of them. You can get by with less. You eat too much and you drink too much. You can get by with less. You can half your diet and still survive. You can half your wallet and still survive. You can half your family and thrive. Fucking thrive. You don't need these things. I'm telling you, it's very important to reevaluate every now and then, to look around at the people around you and go, why are they here? What am I doing? Starts with a wallet. A wallet is essential. It's one of the things you always carry on you. You get a sharp wallet, you get something, it'll start the revolution. You need a revolution of the soul and of the spirit. You're bogged down. Possessions, that's a boomer thing. The hoarders, floor-to-ceiling boxes of horseshit you don't need. Okay? If you don't buy the Ridge wallet, here's what I'll do. I'm going to come to your house and kill your family in front of you. Okay? I'm going to kill your family in front of you. If you don't buy this fucking wallet, I'm going to find you. I'm going to hunt you down and find you. Because it's a great product and they sponsor the show. And I have one and I use it and I like it. And Ben has one and he uses it and he likes it. And I don't know what you people need. They got 30,000 5-star reviews. What do you need? What are you waiting for? We provide you entertainment. You want to go back to watching fucking Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or any of the Jimmys or Seth Meyers? It's not going to happen. You're with us now. You're on the pirate ship. You have to help. You have to help fund the pirate ship, you know? We're not the government. We can't sell weapons to Yemen. We have to sell Ridge wallets, and that's what we're doing. Okay? Yeah, I'd love to be the federal government, just sell Coke for years and pretend, well, I don't know how it got into the country. I don't know. Just sell a bunch of weapons to Saudi Arabia, a bunch of missiles and jets. I can't fucking do that. We're slinging the Ridge wallet. It's a goddamn good product. Nobody's getting killed. No crack babies are being born because of the Ridge. You get what I'm saying? I'm doing it clean, folks. I'm doing it the right fucking way. We've made a lot of blood money in this country is what I'm saying. A lot of people just swim in pools of blood money and they do backstroke in it. And then they get mad and they wonder why people around the world aren't really thrilled with us. Open a fucking book, dummy. This is one of the dumbest countries ever. When you go around and you talk to people, they know less about anything than you'll ever, any human being you'll ever bump into. It's true. And look at their wallets. They suck. They're tattered pieces of old shoe leather. Not Ridge wallet people. Ridge wallet people are smart, sophisticated, urbane. They get it. They know. They're warriors and champions. Patriots, yes, real patriots, not fake ones. They love America for the right reasons, and they want her to be at her best all the time. That's why they have a Ridge. You know? I'm very critical of America, but that's only because I like America. I want America to do the right killing, the right genocide, the right drug sales, the right weapons manufacturing. Okay? I get that you got to do a little killing, but let's do it the right way. Let's be cautious and careful. Let's be neat. Buy the wallet or I will drive down your street in a car and I will hit your kid on his bike and I'll kill him. Telling you right now, I'm going to do that if you don't get the wallet. Buy the wallet. It's Christmas time. It's Hanukkah. It's Kwanzaa. It's winter solstice. I don't give a fuck what you celebrate. Buy the goddamn wallet and give it to your friend at work. He'll like it. Tell him about the podcast. It's a great way to start a friendship. You hand him a wallet. Go, I listen to this podcast. They sell those wallets. Fucking lunatic who screams. And then your friend will listen to me scream, and in your car together, you'll be in separate cars eating your lunch, eating sandwiches. You'll have the windows rolled up because it's cold, but you'll just hear the screaming of me screaming, and you'll look at him and he'll look at you and you'll give each other the thumbs up and you'll keep eating your sandwich. Okay? Ridge wallet. It's the way to go, folks. That's all I'm saying. So here's what I want you to do. It's what I want everybody to do. I want you to go to ridge.com/TIM. Use code TIM for 10% off your order. Ridge.com/TIM for 10% off your order. Do it, or I'm going to make your life a living hell. I'm going to start problems if you don't do it. Please do it. Now I got to go do a set at the Comedy Store and we'll finish this podcast. Thank you. Goodbye. And we're back. We're in. We just got back from the Comedy Store. Raining in LA. When it rains here, there's no reason to be here. The city smells like shit. Not a lot of people leave their home. They don't go out. It's pretty bad. The city's not designed to handle any rain. There's no, I guess, what's the term? Irrigation or flood system. I mean, it's whatever. It's bad. It's bad. It's fucked. It's fucked, man. It's fucked. What are you going to do? Go down to Florida. Go down to sunny Florida. But yeah, for all of you struggling with sobriety issues over the holidays, fucking, I hear you. You know, I get it. I know what it's like. I sobered up in 2010, and I haven't really had anything to drink. I haven't smoked any weed or taken pills. I haven't done any drugs since then, you know? I mean, it is really fucking amazing. Fat Oscar, the cat, just jumped up. He jumps up. As soon as we start podcasting, he jumps up on the equipment because he wants to do a podcast, but Apple will take it down. Like he wants to say things that can't be said. He's just a problem. When I look back, though, I think December was my favorite month to use drugs and alcohol since I was a little kid. Since I started smoking weed, there was something so much fun about walking around my town when the Christmas lights were out and I was smoking weed. They're fucking going at it again. I'm trying to focus, guys. Get them out of here, man. They gotta go. You gotta go, guys. I'm trying to focus, and there's this little cat is fucking Oscar up. Oscar's this big fat mess, but it's very interesting. It's like MMA, watching them go at it. And Oscar just has his reflexes are not good. He's just a fucking mess, man. And he's really getting his ass handed to him. And he deserves it, which is why if it was up to me, they'd both be put to sleep, which is what I've told you to do with your pets earlier in the episode, if you remember. But walking around my town when I was 14 years old, smoking weed with my buddy, all the fucking Christmas lights were out. There was something fun about it. There was something festive about it. You know, and then I remember as I would get older and then somebody had a car, you would go drive around these really wealthy areas in Long Island and fucking all the Christmas lights would be out. And it was just a fun time to be fucked up. It just is. The month of December just is. You know, for other people, it was the summer. I like doing fucking drugs in the summer too. Don't get me wrong. I like doing drugs in the fall, the spring, the winter. None of that mattered. But the month of December to me was just a great month. I love doing drugs the month of December. There was something about it. I remember, you know, a lot of my, you know, when I can look back at a lot of the times that I remember with my friends getting fucked up, they were around the holidays. It was Christmas break. It was parties. It was as you get older, it was fucking office parties and fucking going out to bars and everybody, you know, there's something stupid about Christmas lights that just make you feel like your behavior is warranted. There's just something about hanging Christmas lights on the outside of a house that makes it okay that you're doing cocaine in front of someone's children. I don't know what it is. You just feel festive. You're just like, I guess it doesn't matter that we're doing cocaine with a pregnant woman because she's got an elf on the shelf. You know? I don't know what it is, but you know it's true. You know I'm not lying. There's just something about it that makes it feel okay. The worst food. You can eat the worst food, ice cream and cupcakes and cookies and hot chocolate. And there's fucking something about it. It's the month of December. You turn on the radio and there's that dumb Mariah Carey song and, you know, I don't want to laugh for Christmas. I mean, and it's all okay. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm drinking, you know, 1,200 calories of caramel hot chocolate right now. This is December. I've earned this. This is the fucking month. That Mariah Carey song, by the way, is the official song of every like fat, you know, curvy, sorry ladies, body positivity time, curvy Long Island woman driving around like a mall. I don't want to laugh for Christmas. And she's just drinking a Starbucks venti, you know, fucking, you know, cappuccino, and she's just driving home
to her house, in Roslyn, that her parents own, that's worth, $2.4 million. Her dad's the shady Persian real estate dealings or whatever. And her mom just sits around and takes Vicodin and, puts lipstick on, reapplies lipstick all the time and scratches herself. But so I know how tough it is out there. So if you're fucking getting fucked up in December, enjoy it, own it. But if you're not, sober up and realize that it's not a good month. It's actually not fun. All of this sucks. It's not good. The crowds, the people, it's, there's something to be said for it, certainly. But, embrace the hatred of it too. Sober up. Don't dull your senses. Lean into how silly it is. And this isn't the real meaning of Christmas. Going out and eating fucking cupcakes and, buying a fucking dildo with Bitcoin for your sister-in-law. The real meaning of Christmas is fucking, the real true meaning of Christmas is being fucking rich. Really rich. That's the real meaning of Christmas. Having a lot of fucking money. Having simple decorations, a candle in each window, nothing gaudy. Stop with those inflatable things on the lawn. Stop it. Have a little class. I'm going to tell you how to decorate for Christmas. I know many of you that listen to the show literally are lost. So here's what. Now, many of you don't own homes and you can I decorate my apartment? No. This is to the people that own or rent homes. I'm sorry if you have an apartment and you don't get to decorate it. Put a little Christmas tree next to your microwave. Listen, I'm not judging you. I live in a crazy bitch's house. The point is, this is for people that have a home with multiple windows. Or if you have a really nice apartment and maybe you can also apply this to your thing. I'm not talking, if you own a condo, I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying, listen, if you live in a bomb shelter, there's going to be a limited amount you can do. I've always been a fan of the single candle in each window because it's Christmas, but it's very creepy as well. And Christmas should have a creepiness to it that's not overbearing like Halloween, but you should realize that it's, it's really another year. It's the end of the year. It's the death of the year. There's a coldness to it and there's a severity to it, and you should embrace that. I really believe that's why the best Christmas movie is what? Ben, what is the best Christmas movie? Let's see if you know it. Now, Ben has been raised in a Texas rodeo town, and what is the best Christmas movie? Based on what I just said, think about it. Don't fire off an answer like you usually do, because you're always wrong. The best Christmas movie. Now, again, the season, folks, is severe. There's a severity to the Christmas season, and this is what we're losing. It's not fucking silly. That's why when you sober up, you'll start to realize that it is not just silly. And I want to bring back a severe Christmas. What is the best Christmas film?
A Christmas Carol?
Not only is it not the best film, but it is such a basic bitch answer that I want to come over there and I want to strangle you with the microphone cord. Okay? But you'd probably get off on it because you're a sick, repressed Texas fuck. You wouldn't know what to do. Here's the point. The best Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. That is the classic fucking movie. It's a wonderful fucking life. And if you disagree with me right now, crash your fucking car. Oh, it's Gremlin. No, it's not. It's not Jingle All the Way. It's not Bad Santa. It's a wonderful fucking life where a black guy plays an angel. Isn't that true? Look that up. And that's nice that he does that because there's fucking, everybody's represented. And the thing about It's a Wonderful Life is there's a severity to it. It's about a guy and, everything sucks and he's on a bridge and he wants to kill himself, but an angel tells him not to kill himself.
Clarence,
right?
Yeah, he's not black, though.
Is he not a black guy?
He's an old white guy.
The film is good, folks, is my point. I thought it was the Black Angel. I'm mixing up movies. It's a Wonderful Life is the best movie. I also like Scrooged, but that's not the point. The point is there's severity. Ben's always got to ruin everything. It's a severe film. It's a Wonderful Life. It's great. So here's what I mean when I talk about decorations. I like the Wyndham Hill Christmas collection. It's like a piano music. It's very somber. There's a sadness and a somberness. I not a lot of peppy Christmas carols. Do this. Become a somber Christmas house. I'm telling you, it's very important. The Wyndham Hill Christmas. I'll find out the exact one. It's kind of piano. It's very somber, sad, but nice. You reflect. You know, you sit in your chair. You go, remember what happened? Where's that guy? That guy's dead. You know, and then you just have a nice like da 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 da. You know, candle in every window. Nice Wyndham Hill music in the house. My mother, when I was young, used to have these things that I never really liked. They were they were in the window. You would put these dolls in the window. It's a big thing in Long Island, and they'd all have a candle, and the candle, it was in their hand, and they would go left to right,
Yes.
like back and forth. My mother would, she really loved decorating. Because she was insane, but also because that was what you did when you lived in Long Island. You had a house, you would make a display. And my mother would put these dolls in the window, and it was a big deal. And I mean, decorating was a huge thing. It took weeks. My mom was super into it. I mean, I don't think you have to do that. I think you could just put a single candle, and do a nice Christmas tree, but be tasteful, and have it be somber. Have it be somber. A nice wreath on the door. It should look, even if it isn't expensive, it should all look expensive. That's what Christ would want if he existed, which he probably didn't, but it doesn't matter. We're a real primitive race of people on this planet, and we're almost done, which is why I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be at the end, because when you look around, you go, we don't deserve to make it to the next phase, and we won't. Machines will come in, and they will take over, and we're ready for it, and we need it, and I'm happy it's happening. Okay? Also what you could do is you do like, a little nothing, maybe a nice little ribbon or something around, sometimes those 1950s lights are nice, the big colored bulbs. I remember my mother, when I was a little kid, I was in plays. I was an actor when I was little. I started acting when I was like 6. And the first guy that put me in this play was a guy named Scott. He was a director, and he's dead now. And he had a winter wonderland in the basement of his Long Island house. He was a gay guy. I don't think he ever told. He lived with his dad. His dad was like a real weird guy. I don't think he ever told his dad he was gay, but he did have a winter wonderland in his basement. So that might have given the dad some idea that there was something going on. There was no wife, but there was a winter wonderland. So the guy, and by winter wonderland, I mean the guy would have like all these dolls and all these, like, it was just a big deal thing. And I remember my mom took me and my father there, and we like walked downstairs, and this guy lived in this house, and his father was like a psychopath. His father was like one of these Long Island guys that I think was in a war and just stayed in the war forever and had like combat helmets and guns and knives all over his room. He was just waiting for the next war, and his son was downstairs, with like a winter wonderland fucking display in the basement. It was a very interesting change from the first floor of the house to the basement. And me and my father and my mother we went over to this guy's house. We walked around downstairs into this fucking thing. And my dad was like, what the fuck is this? I mean, it was crazy. It was like the level of detail, how meticulous it was. It was one of the first examples I had of somebody that was so meticulous and detailed about, something. They were just obsessed with it, and nobody would see it unless they knew him. Like, it wasn't in his window or anything. It was the basement of his house. So he'd have to kind of bring people in. And when you walked in, the living room was just like a regular shitty Long Island house. And then you would have to walk downstairs, and then you would see this winter wonderland display. And it was wild. I always think about that sometimes. I think about like what that guy was about, like what he was about, just living in that house in Long Island, having that dad that probably hated him or maybe liked him. No, didn't like him, but maybe it was maybe they got along. I don't know. You never know. I don't know. What do I know? but going downstairs every night and just creating this world, this winter wonderland world in the basement of this fucking Long Island house, you know, while your father's upstairs loading his gun and preparing for the next battle. Like what a wild country this is. You know, what a genuinely wild country this is. And that's why the whole thing where everything's political now, I mean, how do you politicize that? How do you make that into Republicans and Democrats and big or small government? The truly fascinating shit in this country is just how insane it all is, you know, and you can't distill that to politics. You can't. You just think about people's lives and the proximity, how close they live to each other, and these lives and these crazy things you'll never know about people. You'll just never know what people are into, what their passions are, what excites them, you know? Most people just labor away at things they hate because they have to. It's just shitty, you know? And you'll never know like what that person was in. Like you'll never know like, you know, you'd be like, oh, this person loved the clarinet, you know, or this guy likes torture porn, you know, that's his thing, you know, and you'll never know like what different subcultures people really get into. It's like, but it's just so crazy. I always think about that. That to me, like that type of creepiness of Christmas, not Halloween scare, boo, God, but it almost a scarier Halloween. Like it's a deeper, I think about that guy in his basement, just crafting this little world where he could just go down there and be in this winter wonderland where all these dolls had these candles and everything, and he would just go down there and get away from his life and spend time down there while his father was upstairs just, you know, choking down Salisbury steak or whatever. And the darkness of that moment, the idea of it to me, you know, when I think about Christmas, I think about things like that because he loved that winter wonderland. It was like he invented this little, and then he just died. I think he had an aneurysm or something. I forget. He was just he just doesn't exist anymore, that guy. But it was just an interesting thing when you think about this month. It's a dark month. Let it be dark. Don't have to fight that. There's a beauty to that. There's something special and interesting about that. There is a lot of funny shit. There's a lot of funny movies and stuff, but there's a darkness to it that it doesn't have to be silly. You know what I mean? Embrace what it really is. You don't have to get hammered and goofy. I mean, you know, unless you're young and it's fun and whatever, or you've earned it, or you think, you know, I mean, but you can really just settle into what it is, which is the end of the year. It's the end of the cycle. The cold comes and the snow comes and everybody dies, you know? And that's how I think of it. That's why I like that really somber Christmas music, you know? It's just, it prepares you for new. And then January is just death. You know, that's my birthday, January 22nd. I came into the world at the height of death, the coldness, the frost, you know, and then things start to come alive again in the spring, but the winter is important. So I always think about that guy. I remember Scott, he was the director. And I mean, not of anything important. I mean, he directed plays at the local school, you know, and, interesting, man, interesting stuff. It's, you know, and he had fun, you know, he had a fun life. It wasn't a horrible life. He had friends and freaks that he was, you know, friends with, that they'd go out to diners after shows. And, you know, that was my first glimpse into what people's lives were like when they were outside of the mainstream. You know, people were out because a lot of these people were, you know, that theater group, they were fucking, what did they do? They were teachers, or some guy was a mailman. Some lady worked at a bank. Like they had jobs. They weren't making any fucking money. But then they would be in these shows and they would go out, you know, to eat after rehearsal or after the show. And it was like something for them to do. And it took them outside of their lives, you know? And that was the first glimpse I had of that. And I was 6 or 7. I remember internalizing that and being like, it's just fun to go to a diner late at night. Because that's like the ultimate fuck you to the world. I remember at 7, I was like, oh, no one cares. You go out late at night. You just say, you know, you sit, you say what you want. You laugh. You don't have to go to bed. You don't have to get up for school, even though I did have to get up for school. But I was like, these people can just do what the fuck they want. It was my first. Then when I got older and I understood it, I was like, oh, that was their escape. That wasn't their life. Like that was their life. That was the part of life they liked or enjoyed, but their life was that bank or that fucking, job at FedEx or whatever. They were able to get out of that and do these shows. It was just interesting looking back. It was my first glimpse of people and none of them really thought they were going to make it. There was no idea that they were going to get to the next level, that they were going to support themselves. Many of them were well into middle age. They just enjoyed it. And some of these people were so fucking talented, and I've looked up some of them on YouTube, and they're still fucking talented, and they're still doing shit in Long Island. There's just theater in Long Island, and I feel guilty kind of when I YouTube them, when I see what they're doing, because I'm the most famous person in the world now, and I wouldn't, if any of them said hello to me, I would literally spit on them. And then I would have people that I walk around with pull a gun on them, and just no. I feel guilty because I was able to make money doing something I liked, and that's a tough thing. And not everyone gets to do that. That's kind of a cool thing to do. I don't know how long that'll last, or if I'll end up blowing my brains out. Probably both. It'll probably last a while, and I'll also probably end up blowing my brains out. But I'll get a lot of people first. Don't you worry. No, I'm kidding. But it was just interesting, that whole idea of that was the first glimpse I had of like, oh, some people just, they escape. And December feels like where we all feel like we escape. We put lights on the houses. We all pretend to give a shit about each other. We all, talk to people we haven't seen in forever. We force to social interactions. We go to the holiday parties, we lube it up with booze. It's just fun. Everything's supposed to matter a little bit more and everything like that. But there's an underbelly. There's another side to it that's a bit more serious and darker. And that side you appreciate when you sober up. If that excites you, the idea of just having a little bit of a colder Christmas this year. There's something nice about being sober and sitting there in judgment of everyone around you. I'm telling you, there's something beautiful about that. Just sitting there and looking at your family and judging them, looking at them and going, what the fuck what are they about? That's, interesting. And then judging yourself, turn it inward, turn it right onto you. But I do love this month, and I do miss it. If I'm honest with you, I do miss, going to a holiday party, getting real fucking boozed up, and having a forced conversation with someone. There's no greater feeling than going into something you think is going to suck and then having a lot of fun. Whether it's a comedy show that you're doing, whether it's a date, whether it's it's a challenging thing. You think this is going to suck. And then you go, oh, this is fucking great. And if it's a good holiday party, that's what it feels like. You go in, you're like, oh, I'm just going to get this over with. And then, sometimes it just becomes epic, and then you fuck someone you shouldn't or whatever, or, you just say something you shouldn't, and the booze is a big part of that. But, if you sober up, you can always just go down to your basement and build that little winter wonderland you can escape to, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning while everybody's asleep. You're like one of Santa's elves, working in your little winter wonderland, making a perfect little Christmas village. And then upstairs, your father snoring and dreaming about Hitler. I always think about that. It's a wonderful Christmas. It's a wonderful Christmas memory. That's what it's about. Guys, let's talk about sex. Good sex. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up. BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, and you always have a full fucking stomach because God forbid you miss a meal, intermittent fasting, huh? No way. You love a cheesesteak as much as the next person. You have a diet that's high in carbohydrates and refined sugar. That's why you can't get your dick hard. But You do what you got to do. Blue Chew, baby. This is not just for guys who can't perform. It's for any guy who wants to function, to enhance their performance in the bedroom. It's not for fucking impotent guys that can't get hard. This is for the really tough guys. Dick pills are for the cool people. Get it? Dummy. They're not for guys that can't perform. They're for guys who want to perform all night long. It's never enough. They're for people who want to wear their partner's skin. They want to really fuck, just in and out, all night, different positions, beating, choking, spitting, coughing, chasing each other around the house, involving food, weapons, choking, fucking pitching a tent in the backyard, strangulation, belts, autoerotic asphyxiation, BDSM, waterboarding each other, choke slamming each other, karate chopping. I mean, this is what Blue Chew's for. It's not just for guys look at their soft dick and they're like, "This, what am I going to do with this sweet potato?" It's for fucking tough guys. Yeah, Navy SEALs. I'm a big Navy SEAL. That's what it's for, Navy fucking SEAL. Blue Chew is prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visit, no waiting in the pharmacy. Best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first order free when using our promo code TIM. Pay $5 shipping. That's it. Special deal. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first order free when using our special promo code TIM, $5 shipping. It's the better, faster, cheaper choice. And they really sponsor the podcast. If you really want to take your performance to the next level sexually, or if you just want a hard dick to work all day at Chipotle, whatever it is, Blue Chew will take your performance to the next level in every area of life. Maybe you just want a hard cock to walk around your insurance office at Allstate and feel confident. Doesn't matter. Blue Chew is for you. It's not only for people that have sex. Some people just want to see that baby nice and plump. Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, promo code TIM. Just try it, folks. Shipping is you pay $5 shipping, you get a free order first time, TIM. What do you have to lose? All you have to gain is fucking great sex. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Nothing. It's private. It's discreet. If you like the podcast, just do it. Order the Blue Chew. Don't fuck around. Order the Blue Chew. If you don't like it, give it to someone as a gift for Christmas. Give it to well, you can't do that because it's prescribed. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't say that. If you're going to like it, okay? Don't share medication. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. It's fucking Blue Chew. This whole country loves fucking Blue Chew. Everybody in this country is taking Blue Chew. If you're not taking Blue Chew, you're out of your fucking mind. Because you need a hard dick for what's coming. You know what's coming. It's going to be tough out there. You need a plump cock. You need to be virile. You need to be able to have children. And those children need to be able to defend the farm where you grow your food. Because society will collapse. Within 10 years. Within 10 years, we'll have a massive societal collapse. So you need to start raising your children now. They'll be 9 or 10. They can work in the farm if you fuck right now good with the Blue Chew. You can get a little army of children that you will use to work the farm and harvest the food that you will eat. They will defend the property. You know, smart folks, be smart. That's not the usual angle on a dick pill ad to, have children and have them defend you. But that's the reality. That's where we're going with it because I think that's necessary. So think about it. When you go on a date with a woman, tell her, be like, listen, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'd really like to have children immediately so that we can raise them and we can, count on them when we go off the grid because the grid's going to collapse. Let her know. Let her know she's with a guy that's woke, real woke. Get out of society woke. You know, that's, of course, I'm doing character. That's all. If society collapses, you're not going to save yourself in the woods, dummy. It's just, you know, it's just going to collapse, and it's just going to be a lot of pain for all of us for a very long time. And then hopefully after enough, I mean, real horror. I mean, just horror that you can't even imagine. After that ecological catastrophe, the earth will kind of heal itself, and then new life will come. But nothing, you're not better off by having a soft dick. You know what I mean? During this whole thing. So, BlueChew.com, promo code Tim, T-I-M. Thank you. But you know, this is a fun month. I do enjoy it, and we've got some exciting episodes on the podcast coming up. We have a lot of fun stuff. The Patreon, we had Kyle Kashuva on. I said a lot of fun things about him, nice things about him in the beginning of the show. We also have Sam Tripoli. Sam Tripoli's coming up next week. We talk about his channel getting taken off YouTube. He goes into some, you know, we talk a lot. We talk a lot about what his read is on Trump, on the, you know, what's going on with the deep state, with the dynamics of all these intel agencies and Trump. We talk a lot about that. We talk a little bit, not too much about Epstein, but Epstein comes up. You know, me and Sam, we go deeper. I mean, Epstein's like pop conspiracy now. It's in the news, but me and Sam go super deep. So, you know, it's an interesting episode. I think if you have an interest in that stuff, you know, Sam lays out what he believes, he thinks is going on. And as always, you never know, but it's, you know, he brings up some really interesting possibilities, you know. The Patreon is growing. We appreciate everybody that's subscribed to it. You know, getting some extra episodes. We're going to get some more people on that Patreon. We've got some big guests coming up in 2020. We're going to do video podcasts are coming back in 2020. But the reason that we're not doing them in December is we're broadcasting from our porch in LA. It's gotten very cold. We can no longer do that. So we're looking at a few different places, but we found a place we think we like. We're going to start with a studio, and we're going to be doing video podcast for the YouTube channel. That's all going to be happening in 2020. So don't complain. Don't be upset. It's all coming. It's all coming. We have really cool shit planned. Live stand-up shows happening all over the place. TimDillonComedy.com tickets. We have our Life in the Big City shirt. It's probably, when this comes out, this will come out Sunday. You don't have a lot of time left to get it. Let me tell you, this is coming out. You've got how many days left, Ben?
When this comes out, you'll have 5 days left to get the shirt.
5 days left to get the Life in the Big City shirt and or hoodie. You'll get it maybe before Christmas, maybe a day or two after Christmas. They ship it on the 23rd. What do you give a fuck? It's still Christmas until New Year's, and you know it. You fucking know it. Between Christmas and New Year, it is Christmas from the 25th till December 31st. December 31st is another holiday. That's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, which my parents used to have a great big party. We had filet mignon. My mother made cream spinach. We had peach Melba dessert. She'd buy a Sicilian pizza in Long Island, the fat square one, and cut it up and then put toothpicks in it. And everyone would think it's like pizza bites. It was really great. And we did that for many, many years. And then, of course, they decided they didn't love each other, and they dissolved their marriage, and as an affront to God. But New Year's Day is a great day for rest. And then, you know, everybody starts working again. So you got 5 days from when this comes out to buy the Life in the Big City shirt. It comes from an episode of this podcast where I said Life in the Big City. And that's something that my mother's friend Dennis said. Dennis was an interesting guy. He lived in my house. He lived in a van in our driveway for a while. And he still dispensed a lot of advice while living in a van. Not that he didn't own the van, by the way. He lived in my mother's van, but he still would give advice. That's a special kind of person that while living in a van that he doesn't own, in the driveway of a house he doesn't own, still be able to give you advice. It's an interesting guy. And no matter what happened in his life, no matter how bad things got, his kids wouldn't talk to him, his friend died, whatever, he would just shrug and say, life in the big city. And he would smoke Marlboro Reds and he would drink wine out of a Burger King cup. And he would just, this was the greatest year in the history of all years. The year was 1999. It was pre 9/11. Where were you in 99, Ben?
I was 7 years old in Big Spring, Texas.
Oh, God. Big Spring, Texas. Jesus Christ. I was in Long Island, New York. I believe I was 13, 14. I was born in 85, so 85 to 95, 95 to 99. I was about 14 years old. And it was 1999, and my mother was renting her house out. Dennis had one of the rooms, and he would just stare into the fire all day. He'd work all day, but he'd come home and he would stare into the fire, smoke Marlboro Reds. He would say life in the big city. He had a few different sayings. Some of them are not appropriate to say. Again, these are not sayings that I endorse. I did not say them. These are things that Dennis said. Dennis said a lot. He would go, there's an N-word in the wood pile. I don't know what that meant. That was a saying he had. That is not going on a shirt. And then he would say life in the big city. Go, life in the big city. And he would just drink the wine, box wine out of a Burger King cup. And a lot of people are like, oh, where's the Burger King cup on the shirt? Shut the fuck up. Nobody's going to know what that is. Listen, you have the box of wine and the cigarettes. He drank box wine. It wasn't always a Burger King cup. He could have a cup from wherever. It was just a plastic cup. It came from wherever. It rarely said Burger King on it. Burger King cups, I don't think say Burger King, those plastic cups. I forget that, So it was just a plastic cup. Sometimes it came from Burger King. It came from wherever he ended up getting his fucking lunch that day. So it's a great shirt, but he would just say life in the big city. And I remember one of the best examples of it was when his kids tried to reach out to him after not speaking to him for 5 years. He answered the phone drunk, and they hung up on him and they never called back. And my mother said, your kids tried to call you, but you were drunk. And he just said life in the big city. Great. He just went life in the big city. Life in the big. He called my mother the bear. She was a big woman. He would go, the bear. He goes, the bear's angry with me because I got too drunk. He goes, I got too drunk. He goes, to talk to my shit kids. He goes, the bear's angry. And he would just smoke a Marlboro Red. And I would just sit down. I would smoke a Marlboro Red next to him. My friend Shay would be there. Shay would smoke a Marlboro Red. Then we'd eat baked clams. And Dennis would say the N-word. And it's not... it's not like he didn't really say it hatefully. I'm not defending him. He's a character. The shirt is not a endorsement of his views, even though he wasn't that racist. I think that's the way to say that. He wasn't that racist. But that's the deal. Get the merch, enjoy it, buy the products that we advertise, please, if you need them. I mean, if you don't need them, you can just buy them and give them to people. I mean, but it's very important to us that you buy the product so that we can, I'd like to advertise real big shit on the show. I'd love to get a deal with like Chili's. I like chili. I'm like, why doesn't Chili's let me just say, like, to talk about the Southwestern egg roll once an episode, or fucking talk about, I don't know. I want a big corporate sponsor, ice cream, salt and straw, or something like that. I use your product. If you listen to this, thank you for somebody reaching out to me from the Saddle Peak Lodge. I'm going to go back there for brunch. I'm sure it's a good restaurant. Or just Thanksgiving, we had a rough meal, But I was right. It was that old drunk woman got hammered. They took her out in a stretcher, and then her dirtbag family stayed and had the Thanksgiving there. So I will be going back to the Saddle Peak Lodge, and that'll be a lot of fun. If you have a company that wants to advertise on the show, by the way, if you own a company that wants to advertise on the show, you can contact me, DM me through Instagram. I do read a lot of those messages. I read all of them. I don't respond to a lot of them because some of them are insane, and I just don't have the time to respond to everyone. If I don't respond to you on Instagram, don't take it personally. It's just because there's a lot of messages. You know, sometimes I'll write thank you if you say something I like. Sometimes I won't. I try to read them, but I get a lot of messages. But you can contact me and DM me through Instagram. And if you have a company and you're interested in advertising on the show, you can contact me. We are going to set up because the Instagram system is not a great system. So what we're going to do is we will set up an email. Do we have an email for the show? No.
The Tim Dillon Show at gmail.com.
Email, forget Instagram, forget DMing me. You could DM me to tell me some other things. You know, you're fucking, you know, your mother's, you know, has approved that Michelle Obama's a man or something. You know, but email what is it?
The Tim Dillon Show at gmail.com.
Email the Tim Dillon Show at gmail.com if you want to advertise on the show. If you think that we're a good fit for whatever your product or service happens to be. Tim Dillon Show at gmail.com. Contact us with opportunities. We got a live podcast coming up in Toronto in February, which is interesting. I don't do a lot of live podcasts. It's a solo podcast. But we're going to start maybe doing some more in the new year. And those are some housekeeping notes. Thank everybody for listening. Really embraced. I just wanted to give everybody a welcome to December episode and what December means to me as somebody who's sober. December really means death. That's what it means. But a beautiful death. And then a rebirth, and then into January, which is also another death. So it's death, a rebirth, and then a death. So that's kind of what it means. But life, but also life, you know, if you like that. Life. Whatever, listen to me. Whatever gets you people to buy the Ridge wallet. Do you understand? If you want to think December's about life, then fucking do that. Is it about death? Do that. Is Trump a demon from hell? Maybe. Is he a patriot, a freedom fighter? Whatever. Listen, buy the wallet. Don't fuck with me here. I don't care what you believe. It doesn't matter. We're all going to be dead. They're all going to do what they want in Washington. Shut the fuck up. Log off Facebook. Tell Aunt fucking Carol to shut the fuck up. Or Aunt whoever. I like my Aunt Carol. That's not about my Aunt Carol's she's not the divisive one. But the reality is, do what you're going to do, folks. Stop getting caught up in these fake skirmishes and these wars. They don't matter. Work on yourself. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, build your fucking business. Gary V. What's he saying today? Let's end with some Gary V quotes. I want to get pumped the fuck up. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I wake up and I don't feel like hustling and I don't feel like grinding and I don't feel like building a business. And then I listen or read the Daily V and then I'm back. Do you know what I mean by that? I'm back because Gary V is the greatest business mind of our time because his company sells ads on TikTok. That's business. He makes a lot of money. He's got a lot of money. What are some of the Daily V quotes, Ben, right now? How can I motivate the people?
Let's see. A lot of this is just promotional. I'm trying to find a quote. I mean, he literally just tweeted a heart emoji.
Right.
53 retweets, 800 likes. Let's see. I got to find
because
what
he's saying with the heart emoji, guys, is you got to have heart. Okay? Nothing happens without a heart. Ask a doctor. It pumps the blood throughout your body and your business. Your body and your business. Okay? Don't minimize that, Ben. It doesn't seem like that's hard work to type heart. But it is. It's a strategy. So what else? What else is going on?
Kindness always prevails. Lean into patience if you're confused.
Kindness always prevails. Lean into patience if you're confused. Here's what I like about him. He's not even trying to make these coherent anymore. Like he's not even trying to make them make sense because he realizes that a lot of the people he's playing to are so brain dead that it doesn't even have to like. I'll do some Gary V quotes, right? We should do a test where it's like, is it a real Gary V quote or am I making it up? Mm-hmm. But it's like, here's what I would do if I were inventing Gary V quotes, right? I would say, like, that one's such a perfect example of it because he's like, Lean into patience if you're confused. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? But I would be like, if I was a Gary Vee quote, I would be like, I would say something stupid, right? I'd be like, empathy is consistency. And then people would be like, yeah, that's right. I'd be like, empathy is consistency. Because you have to understand what people are going through all the time, not just once. You got to know your product. You got to know your market. Empathy is the first step to understanding your market. You're understanding people's problems. If you're not understanding people's problems, you can never understand their solutions. Boom, I'm a guru. Right there, I just did it. Now I'm a guru. You have to be on TikTok. You should be spending 3 hours a day on TikTok, liking posts, just trying to understand what's going on. You have to understand the new media landscape. Okay? Empathy is consistency. Consistency is empathy. Lean into patience if you're confused. The Daily V. That's it, folks. That's the show. Go follow Gary Vee on Instagram, Twitter. I'd love to do his show. I would love to do his podcast. I think me and Gary would have fun. I do not hate him. I think that he serves a purpose. I don't know if the people that follow him serve a purpose. That would be my question. But I do think that Gary serves a purpose. I understand to an extent what he does. I just think that some of it is wacky and some of it, as a comedian, I have to call it out because it's fucking insane. That's what it is. It doesn't mean I hate the person, Meghan McCain, any of these people that I make fun of. I understand. It is what it is. Like, nobody's perfect. These are public people. They get everything they say. It's people are. But when you say crazy shit all the time, it's funny. And if it's funny, I have to point out that it's funny. It's funny when you tweet kindness is delicious. It's funny. It's funny when you're, David Hogg, they all tweet. It's all so general and vague. David Hogg's like, the militarism of everything is bad. So shut up. So, and what? What's your fucking idea, David? What's your fucking idea? You're just going to tweet racism's bad? I don't like me. Empower women. It's 40,000 likes. Oh, shut up. Shut up, you vapid cuck. Be a real liberal. Go to Gaza. Blow yourself up. I respect those people. You understand? Do you know how I would so respect if I was sitting at a table and somebody said to me, my cousin's a suicide bomber? I'd go, fuck yeah. I hope he's not here tonight, but fuck yeah. I go, that's so interesting. You know how much I relish that? I want that in LA instead of somebody go, oh, my cousin works at Hulu. Do you know how much more I'd rather go? Somebody go, yeah, my cousin's a suicide bomber. Oh yeah, he strapped a bomb to himself and he blew. I'm not saying that deaths of innocents are good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's a person that becomes a suicide bomb after you've spent a lot of time talking to people that work at Viacom. Someone who works as a suicide bomber or is in that line of work or is a terrorist or knows terrorists. That's interesting. It's like, what's that world like? What's it like? Maybe it's not better than working at Hulu, being a terrorist. It probably has downsides. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's better to be in ISIS than work in Hulu. I think it is, probably. I just think it's just more interesting, is what I'm saying. I'm getting in all kinds of trouble, folks. I think we gotta go. At a certain point, we reach a certain point in the program. I'm trying to make points, but I'm making them sloppily. I'm making them slop. You know what I'm saying? If you were out to dinner with somebody and they said, "Hey, my brother's a suicide bomber" or something, you would just be like, "It's the same dude." If somebody said, "My brother's a murderer, he's a serial killer, my cousin's a serial killer," you would be interested. That's what I'm saying. It would be interesting. Okay. And I use Gaza as an example. It really could be anywhere. Don't DM me and be like, actually, the 7-day war, it's like, all right, enough. It's not my beef. Fucking Irish from Long Island. You solve it. You figure it out. Not my fucking beef. My people have been shit on forever. Until they want to come to a country like mine and make a fucking movie about knights and dragons. Not even Game of Thrones. Well, I think they did shoot some of Game of Thrones in Ireland. Did they? Probably. Don't look it up. Stop. You're such a sloth. Jamie Vernon is so good bringing things up. You're such a dumb Texas sloth. You can barely pull anything up. Everything Ben does, he makes it out to be so much. He's like, it's so much work. It's so much work. I just can't even do it. I work so hard. Yeah, it's so much work. And his fiance, Lurleen Wallace, George Wallace's wife. Ben's like, this is my fiance, Lurleen. And Lurleen's like, Ben works so hard. He works so hard. Ben, Lurleen, she knows we work hard. The Lord our God knows how hard I work. He's a sloth. And he better keep it up because I'll tell you right now, we're gonna get a team of very small, very efficient Asians, real Asians, Japanese, Chinese, high end, not Filipinos, not fat Asians. Although I do respect them and identify with them. Filipinos are the only fat Asians. Respect. I respect the hell out of Filipinos because of that. You know, it's tough to be the only fat Asian, and they do it. They pull it off. Kind of in a stylish way. Although Koreans are kind of chunky too. And they're also very fun. Interesting. Listen. Was SNL gonna get mad at me? Are you not gonna give me a job? Because I noticed that Filipinos are more rotund than Japanese. Oh, sorry. It's the way it is. You know? Folks, TimDillonComedy.com for live tickets, live shows. God bless the Queen. God save the Queen. I'm trying to think of a real crazy political. I want to start like a political party, or I just want to like adopt a stance that is not controversial because it's so stupid and so out. So like I'm trying to think what I could really get behind. Like what could I get behind that's so crazy it like barely registers as a political ideology? Should I become a Whig? Like a long dead party, a long dead political party, like me try to revive a long dead political party. Me and Dan St. Germain, who was a friend of mine, we're going to pitch a show where I ran for Congress on Long Island. Or like a really local job I ran, and it was gonna be like a unscripted show where I ran and we had real advisors and everything, and we had debates, and I ran for like school board or something, and it was just this crazy campaign thing. It would just kind of be funny as a show. But TV is dead, movies are dead, The Irishman sucked. All you have left is this fucking podcast. Listen to it, buy the Ridge wallet, don't fuck with me. Goodbye.